Hello everyone and welcome to today's Business Systems Masterclass. I'm John Baer and I'm going to show you how to automatically increase your business profits without changing one process or procedure within your business. Now listen, I know it's a bold claim, but it's absolutely true. And I'm not talking about a measly increase of $1, $100, $1,000. I am referring to significant increases in the profitability and growth of your business. For obvious reasons, there's not a single specific number I can give you because it depends on your business and its current state as to how much benefit you'll get. But I can guarantee that if you stick around today and absorb the material I'm teaching and apply it, you'll see some significant changes in your business growth. Doesn't that interest you? Well, of course it does, right? Who wouldn't want to see their business grow? And I have to tell you, I am so excited you're giving me this opportunity to share the information with you. I have a lot to cover, so without wasting any time, let's get to it. I'm going to reveal my 3 secrets to increase business profitability, and you can apply them with very little effort, with no headaches or hassle, and in a very low cost effective manner. And most importantly, you can begin applying them today. Now first, before we get into the details, I want to announce, if you stay until the end, I will have a special bonus exclusively for each of you attending this masterclass today. I can't even offer this bonus next month, and I promise it'll be well worth your time to stick around. Now for a little housekeeping. To get the most out of today's class, first, I'm not a professional presenter. I'm just an average guy sharing some knowledge with you. Actually, my background is in software development. I'm going to mince some words. I'm going to insert some uhs and ums. I hope you can give me a little slack in today's presentation. The most important thing is the content we're going over. Secondly, I recommend that you turn off or silent all devices, close all browser tabs, windows, maybe pause any alerts that might interfere with this video. Close the door to the room you're in or office to avoid any outside distractions. But most importantly, try to remain 100% focused as we cover some important information today. I don't want you to miss a thing. Now a little background about myself. As I said, I'm John Baer, and I'm the owner of Willow Mobile Systems. I have over 25 years experience in corporate software and systems development. And just to expand on that, I've built systems from the ground up. I've migrated systems from old to new. I've been involved in industries such as healthcare, treasury services, financial trading, specifically fixed income financial trading. Some of the systems I was involved with handled tens of thousands of transactions daily worth multi-billion dollars, and those same systems managed total assets into the trillions, pretty large systems. Others produced over 10,000 management reports per month. A couple projects I was involved in built systems from the ground up, and I was involved from day one till the very end. A few others were multi-year migration projects to update old software into the latest technologies, and some smaller projects in between, but most of these were work on very large systems, and I'm proud to have been a part of each and every one of them. Now, I bring all this up to make a point, and that is that I know what it takes to build a system from scratch. I know what it takes to migrate an old system to a new system. And I know how to blend what the customer wants with what the software system must do to accomplish those goals. And I know how to squeeze out efficiency to make a system work for the business. Now, how did I move from working in a corporate environment to building most mobile systems? Well, I was actually a latecomer to using smartphones. The company I worked for at the time was predominantly in the BlackBerry market and provided devices for us. So it wasn't until the later years of my corporate career that I actually adopted a smartphone. And once I got one and started playing around with the apps on it, I became very intrigued with how to build those mobile apps. So I took some online courses, built several apps, and deployed some to the stores. And as I got more comfortable with building mobile apps, I started to think, hey, this would be a good way for me to break into starting my own business, creating mobile applications. So I went back online, did some additional research, went through numerous training courses on how to start a mobile app business, but I came across this one unique course that gave me step-by-step details to get a business up and running. And it was building back office solutions, right up my alley. Now, if you don't know what back office solutions are, think of a retail store. When you walk in the door Everything you see there is the front office, right? You've got shelves full of products, you have cash registers, you have salespeople, customer support people. Everything you see there is the front office. Everything behind the closed door at the back of the store that you don't see is the back office. And in the back office, they deal with things such as payroll, inventory management, purchasing orders, all those things. And there's systems that they use to manage those pieces of their business. Those are the back office solutions. So I went in and started investigating the marketplace and what it would take to start up a mobile app business building back office solutions for businesses. And I quickly discovered that there was a huge gap in the availability of back office management systems to small businesses. Either you got this small system that you paid very little for but didn't do very much at all, or you had to jump to $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 or more for these robust systems that really were usable, in my opinion, for managing the back office solution for the business. So I decided to make it my mission to solve this problem and fill this gap. And as I went down this route of doing my business planning, looking at what clients needed and things like that, I started to notice that there was a common theme in each business of areas that were affecting their growth. And that's what today's class is all about. I'm going to reveal those areas to you, and I'm going to show you some tips and techniques to reduce or even eliminate those problem areas so you can grow your business. Now, I have to give a disclaimer, right? First off, we will be targeting comprehensive back office business management systems in this masterclass. And what I mean by that, when we discuss making changes to a software system, we're actually predominantly talking about back office business management systems. Now, wait a second. If you don't have a software system, I understand. There actually is still some value in you applying the tips and techniques I'm showing you today to your business to help your business prosper. And we'll cover those particular items as we go through the class. Now, the amount of profit increase will depend greatly on your particular business, right? It will depend on how well you can reinvest your savings back into the business. And the second part of that is the complexity of your business processes will play a big part in the amount of savings and increase of profits as well. So let's take it down a notch. I'd like for you to imagine a year from now. Maybe close your eyes and just listen to my voice. Imagine a year from now when your business has increased its profitability by, let's say, $10,000. Now, for some of you, that might be a pretty good chunk of change, right? But for some of you, that's nothing. So imagine then if it's $20,000 or $50,000 or $100,000 or $160,000. Wouldn't that be incredible if you could increase your profitability by $160,000? What would your business do with that extra cash? Maybe you could expand into new product markets or increase advertising to bring in even more customers. Maybe introduce that cool service you thought would be really great for your customers, or put an addition onto your store, or if you have an online store, expand its online presence. Maybe invest in some much needed equipment. And imagine what it'll be like for your business when there's no more wasted time for your employees, no manual fumbling around with paper forms, invoices, and notices, no more stacks of paper everywhere in the office, no more manual processes to be performed over and over again. And what will it be like for your business when you can receive progress reports instantly anytime you want? When you and your employees can go to a single place to access business data? When your software system can be updated whenever you want within days? And imagine what it'll be like for you and your employees when you can work from anywhere and still have access to all your business data. Wouldn't all that be incredible for your business? Well, that's exactly what it'll be like when you have the right software system in place. Now, before we move on, I want to go over a small accounting lesson. Now, I know some of you probably already know this is very, very simple accounting lesson I want to go over here today. But some of you might be new to business, or maybe you just have your accountant take care of everything and never really give it any thought. So I want to make sure we're all on the same page. First, revenue or gross revenue is the total dollar value of all sales. Sales discounts and returns are the amount of sales not actually collected due to reduced pricing or returned merchandise or services. And net revenue, sometimes is referred to as the real top line, is calculated as revenue minus those discounts and returns. So just a small example. Let's say you have a product that you normally sell for $100. That would be your revenue or gross revenue. But today you have it on sale for 20% discount. So in the sales discounts and returns, you're going to have an amount of $20. So your net revenue in this example would be the $100 gross revenue minus your 20% discount or $20, giving you a net revenue of $80. Now your profit is calculated as that net revenue minus any costs and expenses you had to incur in order to make that sale. So putting this all together in a simple formula, we've got profit equals revenue minus discounts and refunds minus costs and expenses. And I've put the formula in this format for a specific reason because we're going to refer back to it in other parts of the MasterClass so you can kind of see how this is working for your business. Now also, I want to make sure we're crystal clear, right? If revenue goes up, then profit increases. That's a good thing. And if discounts or expenses go up, then profit actually decreases, and that's a bad thing. But if discounts or expenses go down, then profit increases, and that's a good thing. Is that all crystal clear? Okay, so let's move on. How can you automatically increase your profits without changing one process or procedure within your business? Well, here's my 3 secrets to profits. Secret number 1, how to increase revenue by $12,000 per employee without spending one extra penny to make it happen. Secret number 2, how to reduce costs without wasting any of your or your employees' time to do it. And secret number 3, my secret weapon that will allow you to scoff at companies asking $30,000, $40,000 or more for a custom mobile software system while you save thousands of dollars without having your own developers or even an IT department. Now again, I have a lot of great content to go over, so let's just jump right into it, okay? Secret number 1, how to increase revenue by $12,000 per employee without spending one extra penny to make it happen. Now, I know what you're thinking. How can revenue increase that much per employee if there's no extra sales campaigns being run to bring in more customers? Well, and that's what we mean by without spending one extra penny, right? Typically, to increase your revenue, you would have extra sales campaigns to bring in more customers to increase sales, which would increase your revenue, right? Well, it's all about improving the conversion rate and your sales rate. So there are 3 ways. First of all, you can convert more of your current prospects into customers. So those people walking in your door, if you can turn more of those into paying customers, your sales are going to increase and your revenue is going to increase. Or you could increase the amount of sales to each of those paying customers. So again, without increasing your marketing campaign, you bring people in the door. If you could sell more items to them, your revenue is going to increase. And the third way is both. If you could actually turn more prospects into paying customers and at the same time increase sales to those existing customers, you're going to see a significant increase in your revenue. All right, so this is pretty obvious to most of you. So let's dive a little deeper into how to make this happen. And to get a grasp on this, let's first look at a few things that impact converting potential customers into paying customers. That is, issues that turn away customers. Now, according to Marketing at Work, the average business loses about 10 to 25% of its existing customer base each year. Isn't that incredible? That's a huge number. A quarter of your existing customer base is lost each year. And in an article at Entrepreneur Magazine, they stipulated the 5 reasons why your business is losing customers. And those 5 reasons are: you're guilty of poor customer service experience, your product or service failed to meet expectations. Oh, and just notice that I've got these in quotes. These are actually straight from their article. These are not my words. These are straight from the Entrepreneur Magazine article. The third item they mentioned was you didn't show the value, your business is inconsistent, and your sales tactics are out of date. Now notice that the first one here I've got in bold. I just want to point that out to you, okay? Poor customer service. There are 2 more key points from small business trends that I thought were important for you to know. The first one of those was an existing customer is about 8 times more likely to buy from your business than a new customer. That's pretty incredible, right? So keep that in mind because we're going to cover that again here in just a few seconds. The second point is companies lose 71% of consumers due to poor customer service. Now, I know that this particular number seems to contradict the first one, But actually the 71% is dealing with all consumers, even those that are looking at your business for the first time, whereas the first point was talking about your existing customers leaving in a year. Okay, so all of this is pointing to one thing, right? The number one issue keeping paying customers away is poor customer service. So I want to ask you, what is the biggest resource or lack of that's preventing your business from improving on its customer service? I'll give you a second to think about that. If you're thinking time, that's exactly where I'm going. It's time. And I can hear you right now. We don't have no stinking time. Well, I get it, right? It's not your fault. It's no one's fault. It's your business. You and your employees have probably worked really hard to get the business where it is today. You've probably implemented a lot of processes, tasks, procedures to overcome certain hurdles and to introduce consistency in how your business is run so the business can grow and move forward and get to where it is today. And I can only imagine that things are so busy that you can't even afford to take time to see where you could improve your business customer support today. But there is one key thing that you need to be acutely aware of, and that is time is finite. There are only so many hours in a day, and that makes time extremely valuable. So what does all this mean? Well, firstly, if it hasn't been abundantly clear, it is important for your customers to feel that your business cares about them. They want to be part of your business family, or they wouldn't have visited you in the first place. And they want to feel like they're getting value beyond their purchase, which can be simply showing your appreciation for their business. Secondly, it's critical to spend time to continually improve your customer service and support. Remember, poor customer service is the number one issue, and improving it constantly requires attention and adjustment because things change and your customer service and your support needs to change along with them. Not only to help attract new customers, but more importantly, in a bid to retain your existing customers who are most likely to continue buying from you. Remember, we just mentioned a minute ago, existing customers are 8 times more likely to purchase from you. And lastly, time is the biggest blocker to being able to improve your business's customer support. How does your business get more free time for its employees to focus on the customer? The most cost-effective way to save time is to have software do tasks for you. Now notice I have save in quotes because technically you're not saving time. You can't take the time, bank it away, and then withdraw from the bank later to use for other things. In actuality, you're reallocating that time to other things. And in our case, the intention is to reallocate the time that the software is now handling the task for you and apply that towards your customer service and support. Now, you could probably find ways to make your existing procedures more efficient even without changing software. And if you don't have a software system to change, this is obviously your only option. But there are almost always things you can do to improve your manual tasks to decrease the time spent on them. It does take some upfront time, but it'll be well worth it in the long run. However, I can't stress this strongly enough. If your business does not have a software system, you will benefit the most from adding one. Almost everything you're doing is manual, so you'll have the most opportunities to save time to be spent on that critical customer service and support. Now, if your business currently does have a back office management system, then chances are it's robbing your business of that critical time and in turn revenue if you're still doing manual tasks over and over again. You have complicated multi-step processes that take time. You're using several independent software to manage multiple functions within your business. Your software is more than a few years old, meaning you don't have access to the latest technologies, or you're using off-the-shelf software systems, and we'll get into a little bit later why those are problematic. You still operate on paper within the office. Your business still uses postal service as its primary communication means. You're still tracking and analyzing data by hand or through third-party software, and your software cannot scale as your business grows. Where does a business start saving the time? Well, without a doubt, the best place to start is by eliminating or reducing time spent on manual complicated processes in your business and have the software do them instead. Basically, customize your software to work for your business. Now, I remember back when I was paying my way through college, I worked for a call center at Sallie Mae. Most of you probably know who Sallie Mae is. If you don't, it's a company through whom you can get student loans. Now, I checked them out the other day, and they're kind of a different company today than when I worked there. But anyway, I worked in the call center taking calls to answer questions and resolve issues about student loans. And they had this huge issue with call volumes. They had large wait times and they had large call drop rates. Now, the target for any call center is to get as close to 100% answer rate as they can. But in this case, those numbers were way low. And they had talked about hiring some additional employees to try to help with the call volume, but they were a little skittish because they'd done that once before and it didn't help at all, and actually the volumes had increased. So they decided to take another tack, and that was to talk to another sister call center to see if they had similar issues, and if they did, how they resolved them. And it turned out that yes, they had similar issues and they had a solution for it, but they had suggested that the call center that I worked for, that they do some analysis first. And so that call center came back, they did some of the analysis, and one of the things they found that was interesting was that about 80% of the calls that came through really just needed a touch on their account, such as sending a form or balance check or an address to mail something to. Very, very small things that you didn't really need a customer support representative there just to press the button for the customer. And so this analysis that they performed led them to the same solution that the sister call center had, and that was to add an automated call system. Now you have to understand that automated call systems weren't the big thing back then. Only the larger companies had them. And so adding one was a large endeavor. You had to tie it into your software system. You had to tie it into your call system. It took a long time to integrate it and work out the bugs. But once they did implement this automated phone system, the volume of the calls dropped drastically. No longer did the employees have to deal with that 80% of the call volume that just needed a quick touch. Well, in actuality, there are still some people that are going to call and get a representative anyway, so it didn't take care of all of those 80% of the calls, but close to it. But the more important thing is that now the customer service representatives were spending their time on more prominent issues with student loans and helping the customers resolve those. This is a good example of how software can help free up time so that the customer service representatives could spend that time on things that the software really couldn't help with, and that was more prominent issues in student loans. Now I want to go back and I want to touch on the statement I made earlier about if you don't have a software system yet to help with these kinds of things. You're actually in the best position because you can simply make sure that these manual processes that you can identify in your business are captured and included in your software system from the beginning. That'll help save you hours and hours of time that you can then focus on the core business or other things that software can't help you with. On the flip side, if you already have a software system, then hopefully your servicing plan gives you the capability to have these changes made, these customizations made to your software. If it doesn't, or you have to pay for the customizations, then it just might be time to look for a new software system, because that's the point of software, right? Software is supposed to handle these tasks so your employees can focus on the business. It only makes sense to be able to make those changes when you need them. So let's talk a little bit about how much time a software system can save for your business. This will obviously vary greatly based on the tasks, on your business, how much automation that your current system can manage. And tasks can be a number of things, such as frequent counting of inventory, creating delivery routes each day, technician scheduling, maybe gathering and placing of purchase orders, maybe even accounting calculations. The list can go on and on and on of multiple things that you could have your software system do for you. And to this end, there was actually an interesting article produced by Forbes called How Automation Could Save Your Business $4 Million Annually. They found that even with software systems in place, many businesses are still losing 2 to 3 hours a day on manual tasks. That's a pretty incredible number when you have software that's trying to take care of those things. And let me ask you, what do you think your business should do with those 2 to 3 hours saved per employee? So here's a reminder from Small Business Trends. Companies lose about 71% of consumers due to poor customer service. So obviously you want to take those 2 to 3 hours saved per day and put them towards improving your customer service, right? So here's an example where good customer service pays off. Now, I'd mentioned before that I worked at Sallie Mae and they implemented this automated phone system to cut down on the call volumes. Well, that actually wasn't the end of the story. There was still an issue. They still had large call volumes, they still had large wait times, and they still had large dropped call rates. So more analysis was needed, and When they performed that analysis, they revealed that customers were calling back 3, 4, or more times in a single day. And this actually stemmed from a policy a company had prior to implementing the automated phone system, and that was that customer service representatives were to be limited to about 2 minutes per call when talking to the customers. And customers were not getting all the answers they needed, especially now that we were dealing with more prominent issues with the calls that were coming in. Customers needed more than just 2 minutes to get those issues resolved. And so because the customers were getting rushed off the phones, they were calling back multiple times to try to get through all their issues. And unfortunately, customers can't signify their dissatisfaction by just picking up and leaving and going to another provider for their loan. It's a student loan, and Sallie Mae owned that student loan, and they weren't going to give it up to somebody else. So unfortunately, customers had to deal with this, and they had to resolve this problem by calling back multiple times. But once a company realized this and changed their policy so that customer reps just stayed on the phone, they helped the customer until all the questions and answers were resolved, the answer rate for all calls in the center shot up to near that 100% target. And in addition, the overall service ratings went up. And this was all because by spending time with the customer to resolve their questions, there was less overall time needed per customer for that day. This allowed the call center to actually help more individual customers with the same number of employees. But the most important lesson here is that by improving the customer support so that they helped the customer in this manner, the customers were much more satisfied. And the same thing can happen for you. If you put your time into the customer service or customer support, you're going to have more satisfied customers, and this will most assuredly lead to more sales, and in turn, even more word-of-mouth advertising that will help increase your paying customers. Okay, so let's go into a small example here. And let's be conservative. What if the software system can save each employee only 1 hour per day? How much would that time be worth to your business? First, we need to understand some numbers that go into the calculations. The first of those is the national average that each employee contributes to business revenue is about $100,000 annually. So if you had a sole proprietorship, one person, you should expect your annual revenue to be around $100,000. If you had 10 employees, you should expect your annual revenue to be around $1 million. Now this equates to over $50 an hour per employee. That's when taking into account the actual hours worked each year. But we'll be conservative again and use just $50 an hour. And let's assume that an employee works 50 weeks, 5 days a week. I guess they get 2 weeks off for vacation. I guess they're never sick. That's about 250 days. So if we put all these numbers together into our calculation and we say that the employee is being saved at least 1 hour a day and spending that hour to improve the customer service, then the business revenue can potentially be increased by, are you ready? $12,500 annually. And this is per employee. Isn't that incredible? Now, obviously, not all of you are going to see an increase of over $12,000. The fact is, though, that most of you are going to see even more of an increase. Remember, we were being conservative. The average, even with a software system in place, the average time you're wasting on manual processes is 2 to 3 hours a day. And if you don't have a software system in place, it's even more than that because most of the processes you're doing are manual. Now, how much your revenue increases will depend on how well you reinvest that time back into your business. If you take that time and put it towards things that don't help increase your revenue, you're not going to get this kind of benefit. And also, the more manual your processes are, the more potential and time savings you have for your business. So let's recap secret number 1, how to increase revenue by $12,000 per employee without spending one extra penny to make it happen. Well, the number 1 issue that contributes to losing customers is poor customer service, as we identified. And the number 1 blocker to improving that customer service is time. You just don't have the time to do it. But how do you get that time to improve customer service? Well, you either add or customize the software system to do the tasks for the employees. And then you take that freed time and you put that towards improving the customer service and support. Now, by the way, customer service and support is not just the face-to-face time with the consumer. It includes anything that the customer might be interacting with. So you might want to invest in some training for your salespeople, support personnel, and service technicians so they represent your business in the best light to your customers. You might want to improve your websites and social media that improves the customer's experience with your business. You might also need to spend time on providing better accessibility to products or better availability of those products. Things of that nature. It doesn't have to be just the face-to-face time. It could be time spent on indirect things that your customer interacts with to increase the customer's experience with your business. And then lastly, we discovered that each hour spent on customer service has the potential to increase revenue by $50 an hour, or $12,500 annually per employee if you're saving that 1 hour per day that they work. So imagine an increased revenue of $12,500 per employee. How many employees do you have in your business? What if it was 10 employees? And by the way, as a side note, I'm going to be using 10 employees as the average business size through the rest of this masterclass. I know many of you probably have more employees than that, but 10 is just a good number to use in the calculations. And then what I'll try to do is contrast that business size with other business sizes so you can kind of see how your business fits in with the calculations. But imagine, what if it was 10 employees and you're able to save $50 an hour per day per employee? Well, as we pointed out in our previous calculation, that would be an average of about 250 hours a year if it was 1 hour per day. For 10 employees, then that means it's 2,500 hours annually saved. And so you take that times your $50 an hour put towards your revenue. That means that your business could potentially have increased its revenue by $125,000 annually. Now imagine, what if that was 20 employees? That would be $250,000 in extra revenue. 30 employees, it'd be $375,000. 50 employees, $625,000 annually you could potentially add to your revenue. Isn't that incredible? $625,000 increase in revenue annually. Even if it was half these numbers, wouldn't it still be outstanding? Wouldn't it still be incredible for your business? Of course it would. And let me ask you, what will your business do with that extra cash? I'll let you think about that. Let's move on to secret number 2. Now in secret 1, we talked about increasing revenue by allowing more time for employees to spend with customers. In secret number 2, we will focus on the other end of the profit formula. In secret 2, we will discuss how to reduce costs without wasting any of your or your employees' time to do it. Now I'm sure you can think of many ways to reduce costs for your business, but how can you reduce costs without anyone in your company taking action to make it happen? Well, there are 2 simple things that you can do. One is have automated processes implemented in your software system. Now in secret 1, we talked about automation to save employee time. But there are many manual processes where automating them not only saves the employee time, but it also has direct savings impact in business expenses. And we'll go over a few of these very common such items in just a minute. Now, the second simple thing you can do is take advantage of cloud computing resources. Now, don't tune me out just yet. I know the reputation that cloud computing resources has based on media reports, but those are not completely accurate. I'm going to give you the real scoop and how these services can help save you thousands of dollars every year. So, the 3 main thieves robbing your business of profit and unnecessary costs. They are printed paper, mailing expenses, and computer hardware and IT servicing. So let's cover thief number 1, printed paper. First, some small business paper fun facts. As reported by info.basicsafe.us, an average office staff member prints 10,000 sheets of paper a year. That's pretty incredible, right? And the cost to send information by paper is up to 31 times the cost of producing a document. That's because it includes copying, filing, postage, labor costs, and a few other things. The average 4-drawer cabinet costs about $25,000 to fill and an additional $2,000 per year to maintain. $25,000 to fill with paper. Now, businesses, first, this is according to a study by PricewaterhouseCoopers. Businesses spend an average of $20 in labor to file a document, $120 to search for a misfiled document, and $220 to recreate every lost document. And lastly, research by firm Gartner Inc. estimates that as much as 3% of companies' revenue is spent on paper, printing, filing, the cost, and to store and maintain those files of information. Now, think about that for a second. We talked about how the national average for a single person company is about $100,000 a year in revenue. Imagine taking $3,000 of that revenue, that hard-earned revenue, and throwing it out the window because you're spending it on dealing with paper. Wouldn't it be nice to get rid of that cost? Well, speaking of cost, let's look at the cost of printed paper. Printing in black and white costs 8 cents a sheet. Now, some of you probably do some color printing, so just to kind of contrast that, the cost of color printing is about 20 cents a sheet, right? More than 2 times the cost of black and white. But let's look at the cost of black and white paper printing. So if you have one office worker, and that one office worker prints an average of 10,000 sheets a year, that means the cost in black and white paper printing is $800 a year. Now, that doesn't seem like a lot, but let's look at some other numbers here. 5 office workers, 10,000 sheets printed, that's $4,000 a year. That's starting to get a little more significant. 10 office workers would be $8,000 a year, and 20 office workers is $16,000 a year just in printing black and white sheets of paper. Isn't that an incredible amount of money spent on just dealing with paper? Wouldn't you like to save those costs for your business? Well, the fact is that many businesses are successfully moving to a 100% paperless environment just for this reason, to eliminate those costs. Now, I understand that for some businesses, printed documents are still needed, and they are especially needed when you have to get signatures for things, or you have to have a notary public on a document, a notary public seal. Maybe you need to mail a form, and so you need printed documents to go along with that form. Sometimes the document is just complicated, and it's just much easier to deal with in printed form than trying to flip back and forth on an electronic device, a computer or whatever. Sometimes you might be going to an area where connectivity is going to be questionable. So do you have access to your business system? So you might want to have paper documents to serve as a backup for that. And unfortunately, there are still some customers that do not use email, so you can't take advantage of that and still need to mail things to them. But don't fret. Studies actually show that you can still save an average of 90% of costs when dealing with printed paper. So how does your business eliminate or at least reduce costs of printed paper? Well, by having a customized software system that automatically handles all the documents for your business. And then, of course, the next question is, how does a custom software system help eliminate or reduce these costs? Well, there are many ways that it can help. Firstly, you can automatically email notices, invoices, and reminders to the customers. Not only will this save on cost, but you'll simultaneously be increasing the value to your customer through improved customer support. You could also have your software system use electronic form submissions whenever possible. Yes, it is possible that many organizations you deal with have the capability of serving your needs electronically. And by that I mean that you can submit your forms to them through some electronic means. And by customizing your software system to send these submissions for your business, you'll reduce the need to print those paper forms and retain duplicates. Thirdly, you could automatically email progress reports to management. Many reports could be several pages long, or they're sent daily. By emailing, you'll eliminate these paper costs. And keep in mind that recipients can always print them if they need to. Next, a custom software system can provide easy viewing access to data and charts. Many times data is not initially organized in the best way to be viewed together, so employees will print some of the data to view on paper while looking at corresponding values on the screen. By having a software system that allows these customizations, you can create as many views into the data as needed. And lastly, through heavy use of digital storage, you can save documents electronically and avoid printed paper and the labor costs associated with filing and searching for those paper documents. I'm sure some of you have already taken steps to reduce paper costs. Even so, I hope I've enlightened you a little bit more as to why dealing in paper is sucking some of the financial life out of your business. And I'm sure there are many other ways your company is using paper that I haven't even mentioned here. Am I right? But can you imagine reducing 90% of the paper costs in your office? How much would it save your business? Well, as we saw from earlier in the presentation, one office worker, 10,000 sheets printed a year, and black and white printing at a 90% reduction in cost, you would be saving $720 a year. Okay, so maybe that's not significant, but consider if you have 5 office workers, that's $3,600 a year saving in just printing black and white paper. 10 office workers would be $7,200. And 20 office workers, $14,400 savings per year in black and white printing alone. Isn't that incredible? Do you see how automation can help your business save costs? Wouldn't you like to save these costs for your business as well? And remember, the indirect savings. The cost to send information by paper is up to 31 times the cost of producing a document. And the average 4-drawer cabinet costs $25,000 to fill, but an additional $2,000 per year to maintain. And lastly, businesses spend on average $20 to file a document, $120 to search for a misfiled one, and $220 to recreate every lost document. Wouldn't the savings in the labor costs make it even more worth it? I totally agree. Okay, so now that you have an idea how printed paper is harming your business, let's move on to the second item that's robbing your business of costs. Thief number 2, mailing expenses. Now some more fun facts. First, over 80% of all invoices worldwide are still processed manually. This is mind-blowing to me, knowing the advancements in technology we have today, that over 80% of invoices are still produced manually. Incredible. And the cost of a single invoice is between $12 and $30. And lost and unreported invoices can cost a business tens of thousands of dollars annually. Now, I know a person, I'll call him Sam, who had the first-hand experience with his company in issues in dealing with unreported invoices. Since they were never reported, the customers were never billed, which means that the business never collected those servicing fees. When the problem was discovered, they investigated and found that the company, a small utility service of about 15 employees, was losing over $50,000 a year in unbilled invoices. The company was still using paper invoices, and they would get lost for various reasons. I guess maybe when a service person went out in the field, they left the windows down on a nice sunny day and wind came through and blew them out the window. I don't know. They lost them somehow. But they also didn't have a proper software system in place to know when an invoice was missing. Well, Sam took it upon himself to implement a software system for the business. He was able to totally eliminate the use of paper forms and saved the business $50,000 a year. Pretty amazing, right? And I guarantee you he didn't spend $50,000 a year to implement that software system. Now I wonder what similar problems your business has that you could improve with software. Now moving on, there are more mailings than just invoices, such as confirmation notices, reminder notices, maybe repeat billings for the accounts not paid timely, service notices, and a number of other things. I'm sure there's more that could be put on this list for your business that I haven't put here in this slide. Now let's go over an example of reducing the cost of mailings. First, let's assume that the cost to mail a letter is 8 cents per printed page, 8 cents for an envelope, 50 cents for postage, and I'm going to say an average of $5 in handling cost. I know we saw on the slide before that the cost to send an invoice is between $12 and $30. I'm going to be conservative and say that the handling labor cost of a letter is $5. So that brings the total cost of $5.66 to send a single letter. And in our example scenario, let's say our business sends an average of 4 mailings per day. The business is open 240 days a year. So that means that's 240 days times 4 mailings a day. That's a total of 960 mailings a year. And at a cost of $5.66 per mailing, the total cost would be over $5,400 a year. Isn't that astonishing? A measly 4 mailings a day is costing your business over $5,400 a year. Now, what if it was 8 mailings a day? It'd be over $10,800 a year. And 12 mailings would be over $16,300 a year. 24 mailings, $32,600 a year. Isn't that ridiculous? So how can your business reduce the mailing costs? Well, you could have your employees email the letters and notices, but that takes that precious time away from the employees helping with the customer service. So you don't really want to do that. So how can you reduce the cost even more? Well, a common thing we've got going here, you're probably already thinking it, update your software to automatically generate and send your invoices and any other business mailings you might need to send that your software can handle for you. But again, maybe not all your customers have email addresses, and this can realistically be the case. And if it is true, you wouldn't be able to totally eliminate generating mailings to some of your customers. Or maybe there are some forms or documents that just simply have to be mailed as there's no other way to submit them. In either case, you're probably not going to be able to totally eliminate mailings from your business. But using the same principle as we did before, you still can reduce your mailing costs by at least 90%. So, can you imagine what eliminating 90% of your mailing costs can do for your business? If you were only sending out 4 mailings a day, you'd be saving an extra $4,800 a year. And if it was 8 mailings a day, you'd be saving $9,700 a year. 12 mailings, you'd be saving an extra $14,600 a year. And 24 mailings, saving your business an extra $29,300 a year. And these aren't just one-time savings. You'll be saving on these costs year after year after year. Wouldn't it be worth updating your software system to achieve those kinds of savings? And let me ask you, once you get this extra cash into your business pocket, what will you do with it? And imagine, along with all that savings comes these extra benefits. You can reduce labor costs for prepping and mailing letters, no more lost unreported invoices, reduce labor to file copies, immediate confirmation notices sent when appointments are scheduled, and immediate invoices sent as soon as work is completed. There's no more mail time lag as emails are received almost instantaneously, which means you can get your response back from the customer even quicker. So in addition to all the savings, you're eliminating these headaches and you're improving your customer service. Wouldn't these be awesome side benefits? I totally agree. Now, I hope by now it's starting to sink in the tremendous benefits you can get from updating your current software system or adding a software system to take care of all these manual tasks that you're doing. Not only are you going to increase your revenue, but you can help reduce costs. And with that, let's move into our final thief that's robbing your business. So thief number 3, cost of computer server hardware. And again, some more fun facts about owning your own computer hardware. First of all, a single server can cost between $3,000 to $5,000, and in some cases even more depending on what you put in the hardware. It is recommended that you maintain at least 2 servers, and the reason for that is to keep redundancy of your services. So if a machine has a problem, you have another machine that can still serve your business, and this happens more than you think it does. Own servers sit idle about 75% of the time. Think about it. When you're not in the office, evenings and weekends, your computers are still up and running, but they're not being utilized. Even when you are in the office, your computer servers are very rarely used, even 50% of the time. So you're paying for hardware that just sits there over 75% of the time. And IT services to install and maintain a single server can run over $220 a month, or that equates to over $2,600 annually. And lastly, it is estimated that a server should be replaced every 4 to 5 years. That means you have to spend another $3,000 or more every 5 years or so. So what are the headaches your business faces when it has its own computer servers? Well, cost is number 1, and I'll talk more about that in a minute. Maintenance, right? You need to perform regular updates and resolve any issues that you're going to have with those servers. Downtime. If issues can't be resolved, then your business could potentially lose access to the system. Now, I mentioned that you minimum 2 servers to have redundancies to try to prevent that, but there are some issues that you just can't avoid that affect both the servers. Backups. You need to perform regular backups, and they don't always go well, and then somebody has to investigate those and rerun the backup. Storage of your backups. You should not store your backups on the same location that you have the servers. What if there's some kind of disaster? Not only do you lose the data on your servers, but you lose your backups. So the backups have to be stored somewhere else. Space. You need a large space to provide ample ventilation for the servers. Now, many businesses have more than just the 2 servers, and so they typically would have like a large closet, but they need to provide ample ventilation, which is additional cost they have to install to preserve that computer hardware. And what is the real cost of computer server hardware? So we said that you spend at least $3,000 on your servers, and it's recommended that you replace them every 5 years. So if we amortize that out over a yearly cost, that's about $600 a year that you're saving. And this is conservative. Keep in mind, this is conservative. We're at the low end of that range, the cost of servers. And then it costs an additional $2,600 or more per server per year in servicing labor costs. So that brings the total cost of a single server to be $3,200 or more. So a conservative annual cost of 2 servers would be $6,400 annually. Now, how does your business avoid or at least reduce these computer hardware costs, especially when on a budget? Take advantage of cloud computing resources. Now, despite what you might have heard in the media, cloud-based services are not bad and are no more prone to being hacked than your own servers. Keep in mind that a server in the cloud is just a computer at a different location. It still has the same connectivity and security requirements. In fact, 80% of small businesses do not follow best practices for server security. And another survey showed that nearly the same number, nearly 80%, of small business owners thought that they would never be targets of hackers. But the reality is that in 2017, over 60% of small businesses were successfully hacked. Why? Because their small business systems were easy targets for the hackers, and easy is better for them. And by the way, the number of hacked small businesses is expected to be higher in 2018. That was according to a mid-18 report. We have not seen the end of 2018 report yet. Now, it is also worth noting that the only way to keep a computer system 100% hack-free is to never connect it to the internet. But that's just not practical in today's world. You need that connectivity to get system updates for your computer, as well as to provide remote access for your employees, say if they work in the field or if they just want to connect from home for any reason. So the key to a safe and secure cloud-based computing experience is the same for owned businesses as well as cloud-based servers, and that is to follow the proper security best practices. And in my opinion, cloud-based vendors will do a better job of maintaining these practices. After all, they have a reputation to uphold. So they're going to make sure that those security updates and those connectivity issues are resolved as quickly as possible for you. Now, for your business, you want to find a reputable professional who ensures that these practices are followed, and it doesn't matter if they're your own servers or they're cloud-based services. You still need to make sure you're maintaining the best practices for security and connectivity. What are the advantages of cloud-based services? Well, firstly, you can eliminate the need for local servers altogether. And by eliminating those local servers, you can also reduce your IT service needs. Now, as we mentioned a moment ago, you probably still want to have a professional who can make sure that you're maintaining best security practices. And you also are going to have probably computer systems in your office that connect to your business system, so you'll need IT services for those. But for the most part, you can eliminate the rest of your IT servicing needs, especially for the servers. Also, you don't need to spend that cost every 5 years to update your servers to make sure you're keeping up with the latest hardware and technology. Cloud-based vendors keep more up to date to protect their reputation. They'll keep more up to date with the hardware. They'll keep more up to date with the security requirements and connectivity requirements. Also, the best cloud vendors guarantee 100% uptime. What that means is they have redundancy built in on their side. If something happens to a particular server that your business is accessing its business data from, they'll simply flip over to another machine, so you have no downtime. And you only pay for the services you actually use. Remember, we talked about how servers on your own premises will sit idle over 75% of the time. Well, at a cloud-based vendor, you typically only pay for the services you're using, and that's usually measured by your data, the amount of data you have going through, or the bandwidth of usage you have for those servers. Backups are automatically handled at the vendor site, so they are off-premise by default. You don't have to worry about maintaining those backups somewhere else. And there's no more space requirements for racks and racks of servers on your business premises. So how can you leverage cloud-based computing services? Well, the first way is to find a vendor and then migrate your services yourself. But I promised you a way without spending any of your and your employees' time to do it. So the next best way is to get the help of a professional. They can find you a reputable vendor, and then they can help you with the migrating of your services to those new servers. But a better way is to find the right software system so you can get these cloud services that are included and pay virtually nothing. Can you imagine what it'll be like for your business when you can eliminate the headaches of having your own local servers? When you can reduce your IT costs? When you never need to worry about downtime again? And those data backups are handled for you, and they're kept safe and secure at a location for you automatically. You never need to worry about them. And all the while you're saving your business of all those headaches, you're able to reduce your business costs by $6,400 or more per year. Wouldn't that be incredible? So let's recap secret number 2, the 3 thieves robbing your business of profits. They are printed paper, mailing expenses, and computer hardware and IT servicing. And imagine our sample office size of 10 employees that sends out 8 mailings a day and is able to reduce expenses by 90%. And they use cloud-based software. That office can reduce its black and white printed paper costs by $7,200 a year. Incredible, right? And the mailing expenses can be reduced by $9,700 a year. Even more outstanding, wouldn't you agree? And then add computer hardware costs of $6,400 reduction each year, and you get a total of $23,300 of potential reduced costs each and every year. Isn't that a mind-blowing number? That's huge. And imagine, what would it be if there were 20 employees, 30 employees, or even 50 employees? These numbers would be through the roof. And if we go back to our accounting lesson, and remember that profit equals revenue minus discounts minus expenses, and recall that a decrease in cost equals an increase in profit, that means our $23,300 is a direct increase in profitability of your business each and every year. Wouldn't you like that kind of boost to profits for your business? Okay, so let's move on to secret number 3, my secret weapon that will allow you to scoff at companies asking 30 grand, 40 grand, or even more for a custom mobile software system while you save thousands without having any of your own IT people to do it. Now, it's pretty clear that any business will benefit from a software system if they choose to install one. How? Well, it's going to save their employees time that they can spend towards customer service. It can also help reduce or completely eliminate expenses through automation. With cloud-based services, you can even eliminate the need for the computer hardware on the premises of your business. And all of these will help provide a tremendous boost in the profitability of your business. But why is a custom mobile software system so important? Well, I came across a quote in an article by Apogai's company. The article's name is Importance of Custom Software for Your Small Business. And they say every business, whether it is small or big, needs custom software to fulfill their specific business requirements. You need technically advanced solutions to obtain a competitive advantage. Every business has its own working conditions and functions. When it comes to small business, they need to be more adaptive and have to change business strategies as per market requirements. So what does all this really mean? Well, first of all, you need to have technically advanced solutions for a competitive advantage. You need a software system that can keep up with those technical advancements. You also need software that can adapt to your unique business working conditions and functions. You want to be able to customize the software to fit your business, not the other way around. You also need the ability to make fast changes in your software system because the market conditions change, and now you need to adapt the software to those market changes. Now, you can really only achieve these things with a custom software system. Other systems just take way too long, either to make changes or they're just not flexible enough to adapt to your business. And you might be asking, why mobile? Well, the world has demonstrated its preference. In 2018, of all web pages served worldwide, over 60% were displayed on mobile devices. And I'm sure you can relate to that. Because of this preference, the software development community has adopted a mobile-first mantra when implementing applications. This simply means that systems are designed to support mobile technologies first and then other devices secondary. Also, mobile systems allow you to access your business software from any device, and that opens doors of freedom for your business. No longer do you need to be at your desk to make data changes, and you're free to organize your business structure as you deem fit. You no longer need to worry about the lack of network connectivity in order to structure your business. Using cellular doubles your chances of having remote access. In areas where you don't have cellular capabilities, you might have Wi-Fi capabilities. And lastly, you will already be prepared for future growth when you adopt a mobile system. Now, you do have options for your custom mobile software solutions. There are off-the-shelf software systems and packages. That basically just means these are pre-built systems to accommodate most of the functionality your business needs. We'll go into more of that here in just a second. You also have native custom mobile systems such as iOS and Android. These are built specifically for the devices, but if you need to support both, you have to have them built in both platforms. Then there are web apps. Web apps are custom mobile systems that are built to be supported in browsers. So any device that can run a browser can run the web app. And then hybrid web apps are a cross between the native custom mobile systems and the web apps. Basically, you have a container that's built in the native system that gives you access to some of the functions on the device itself, but then it hosts a web app. So you have kind of the best of both worlds situation. But these options all have a common set of problems. First, they require highly skilled developers who demand a premium for their services. This makes the systems expensive. And because these software options support a whole host of possible types of applications, there are so many features that a developer has to wade through that this leads to slower development times, which means that the initial build time is longer and the updates or enhancements take longer to finish. Off-the-shelf systems have additional issues. As I mentioned before, they're kind of a pre-built package, and they try to accommodate as many features across that industry as possible, but that typically means that you're paying for features that your business will never use. And the flip side of that is that there's probably features and functions within your business that the software doesn't accommodate, so your unique processes are not included in this off-the-shelf system. In many cases, you can have those added, but the customizations will most likely cost you extra. There is a solution to these issues. Are you ready for my secret weapon that will save you thousands on a custom mobile back-office software system? Well, I have one word for you, and that word is AppSheet. Now, AppSheet is a leader in low-code development platforms. And what is a low-code development platform? Well, basically, it's a platform that's taken all the common functionality and all the applications, kind of bundled them together and made it plug and play. It's a very easy to use platform. You do not need to know how to code in order to use it. To get into more complicated applications, you might require some professional help. But for very simple applications, it's a piece of cake to develop your very own application. AppSheet was ranked third in the report called Forrester Wave Mobile Low-Code Platforms for Business Developers. This was a report that was produced in the third quarter of 2018, last year. Not only were they third overall, but they were the top-ranked company with the strongest strategy. And it shows they clearly have businesses in mind with their robust and flexible features and functionality. And their functionality can serve the needs of even the largest of enterprises. And just to show this to you, they are a trusted and reliable provider for these major enterprises such as PepsiCo, ESPN, Ski-Doo, General Electric, Caterpillar, Enterprise Holdings, Costco Wholesalers, KLB Construction, T-Mobile, Husqvarna, Telenet, Ashley Home Store, and a few other notable mentions are Michigan State University, City of Antwerp, and the State of Colorado. Now, there are many others you can see here in this list. I'm not familiar with these organizations, and many of them might be from the European community, so you might recognize who they are. Now, the information that you're probably most interested in is what can AppSheet do for you, your business, and your software solution? Well, AppSheet has a large list of rich user experience and robust set of features. You can see before you a list of those things. I'm going to call out a few of these to you. Maps and routing information, signature capture, quick edits, tables and table editing, interactive dashboards, push notifications, custom format rules, offline mode, which is critical if you have people who work in the field or who need access to the system when they don't have connectivity, barcode scanning and searching, App Smart Assistant, which is something like Alexa or Siri, and workflows, which are the heart of the automation of your software system. There are many capabilities that AppSheet provides. I've been building applications in AppSheet for over 2 years now, and I've never encountered an issue or anything that I couldn't create or develop in the AppSheet development platform. Now, along with any software system, there has to be bundled with the conversation data storage. And AppSheet supports both cloud-based data storage as well as databases or business-level data sources. Some data sources here are Google Sheets, Forms, and Calendar, Excel on a number of cloud-based data sources, Socrata, Salesforce, and Smartsheet. And databases they support are MySQL, SQL Server, Oracle, PostgreSQL, AWS, and they can even support your on-premise database using a feature called Dream Factory if you so desire. Now, I would love to give you a demo that can show you everything that AppSheet can do, but I just don't have enough time. So I'm going to give you some demos over some particular features and capabilities that I think that you would be most interested in. But I want to make sure you understand that these are only barely scratching the surface of the capabilities that AppSheet can provide. I could spend all day showing you the features and still not show you everything. I just don't have the time in this masterclass. But if there's any specific feature that you wish to know about or to see or to be demonstrated to you, please contact me directly. I have my contact information here in this masterclass, and I'll be happy to accommodate you. So the demos we're going to cover in this masterclass today are maps, addresses and routing, photo and signature capture, barcode scanning, tables, quick edits and offline mode, workflows, actions, and custom format rules. So without any further delay, let's get into our first demo video, maps, addresses, and routing. Are you ready to see some AppSheet features and functionality? This is by far my favorite portion of the whole masterclass, is where I get to show you what AppSheet can actually do, how it can actually help your business. It's going to save you a ton of time. I'm going to go over maps, addresses, and routing right now in this first demo video. Now, there's a lot of features within this, but I'm just going to show you the more pertinent ones that you're most likely going to be using for your business. So let's get into it. I've got a sample application here that already has a map view in it, so let me navigate to that. It's called Customer Locations. And when I drill into it, you'll notice right away I've got these green circles and these orange circles. Now, these are actually two entities of information. So there's customers, which are the green circles, employees, which are the orange circles. I think it's important for you to understand that you can put two entities of information on the map so you can see their relationship geographically on the map itself. Now, the first thing that probably strikes you when you come into this view is it looks very familiar, right? This is actually a Google service. If you notice in the lower left-hand corner, this is a Google service hosted in your AppSheet application. That is pretty awesome, right? Because what that means is there's no reinvention of the wheel here. Functionality you're probably already familiar with comes to you right out of the box. You'll know how to use it right away. The difference is that you're going to have your business-specific information shown on the map, just like we have here with these two sets of entities with our customers and our employees. Now, it's probably worth noting that AppSheet actually supports coordinate information as well, not just street address information. So, for example, those things that can't be represented by street addresses, maybe survey pins if you're on a survey crew, or cell phone towers if you do cell phone tower servicing. Anything that doesn't have a physical street address, you can plot the coordinate, the longitude and latitude coordinate of that item and drop it on the map as pins. Now, the other thing I want to point out is that all the functionality is basically the same. Hosted right here in your AppSheet application, you have all the navigation features that you do normally from the Google website for maps, right? The only difference you're going to see on this screen, in addition to the data, is that you have these two icons over here in the lower right hand corner, which are specifically AppSheet functions. And I'll show you those in just a second. I also want to point out that in the center, you'll see the blue circle here. That is your current location. And we'll use that in our routing information here in just a second. So let me click on a pin. Here's a customer pin, and when I bring it up, I've got all the customer details shown right here along with the map. Isn't this incredible? I mean, right here on the same map view, you can see this additional information together. Now, down the bottom of this detail pane, we've got some related information, right? Work orders are the main data information in this particular application I'm demoing to you right now. And so what this means is this is a customer who's put a work order into the system. And so that shows that relationship here. If there were more relationships to other things, they would show additional relationships here. You can see all that information here together. Now let me bring up another customer just to kind of see the difference here. So this one has 3 related work orders as an example. So they put 3 work orders through into the system. Now if I look at an employee real quickly, you'll see there's more information here. I get a scrollable pane, so I see more information. If I go to a different employee, see here, nope, not that one. Let's go to this one. Nope. This one, yes. Okay, so I just wanted to show you the related work orders. So this shows these are the work orders that the technician has been assigned to work for the customers. So just to contrast, you can show additional information, right? You're not limited there. You can show as much as you need here. Now let me go back to a customer pin. And I want to go over these icons here. These are action icons. Now if I were to click on this pin, what it does is it zooms in on that address so I can get more details around that location. That might help me with knowing where that customer is when I'm driving to them. And then down at the bottom here I have communication icons, right? I have a phone icon, so I can just click on this and it'll call them. Now I'm on a desktop, so it doesn't actually do that from the desktop. It doesn't have calling capabilities on a desktop. But what it can do is go to a video conferencing service if you have one on your desktop, and then you can do video conferencing. Or you can use messaging services with the chat icon and send text or do chats with that particular phone number. And then the email icon will bring up an email editor so you can type an email, send it off to the customer. Pretty basic stuff. I think all of you are probably familiar with that. Across the top are the common actions that can be taken on all the entities. So we have here on the far right editing. We can edit the particular entity, in this case a customer. We can delete the customer with the trash can icon. And then this car icon is the navigation icon, and that's where the addresses come into play. So let me click on this real quick. What happens is on the desktop app is it opens another tab, sends the current location, the customer address, plots the route, and then shows that on an actual Google map. Go back to the main app, and then if I close this detail pane, these icons over here on the right are very useful for your AppSheet app. So let me click on the first one here. This is actually a pen. What it does is it drops a movable pen on the app. You see the red bouncing pen here? I can take that and I can move it somewhere. And then when I let go, let me put it here. Put it right here. And when I let go, what it does is it translates that location on the map to an address. So let me move it again just to show you. So I'll drop it here. It's going to translate it to an address. And where you can use this is when you want to add another entity into the map. So if I wanted to add another customer and this was the customer's address, I could drop the pen here and then come over, and you can see now this icon changed to a check mark. Click on that check mark and it opens the input form, pre-populates it with the address, and now I can fill out the rest of the customer information. How cool is that? Isn't that? It's going to save some time, right? So I'm going to cancel out of this. I don't want to save it. But if I had saved it, what would happen now is a new pen would show right here on the map. Now the plus sign down here at the bottom, the blue circle with the plus sign, is just to input a new customer from scratch and no preloaded information. So I just enter in all the details here. I could click save. I'm going to cancel. And if I clicked save, then a new pen would show on the map. So that's the basic functionality for the map views and addresses and routing information. Now what I want to do is I want to switch to a smartphone and show you what this looks like on a smartphone. And to prep for that a little bit, I want to go to a blank screen because I don't want the map information from the two screens to blend in together. Okay, so you should see the smartphone view on the screen right now. I'm starting with the same location just so you can see all the navigation exactly the same. It's worth pointing out that this is the exact same application. It's just that now we're looking at a smartphone version of display. AppSheet knows what type device you're on and it'll adjust the display accordingly. Now if I go to customer locations, you can see here it's the same map, basically just a mobile version of the map. I've got the pins, all the pins here. I've got the same navigation information, the same AppSheet icons, all the same functionality. It's just in a smartphone version. Now if I can use pinch gestures just like you can on a mobile device, any mobile device, and I can click on a customer pin. And you'll notice now instead of getting the detail pane like I did before, I've got one that's got limited information on it across the bottom, and that's done because of the limited screen real estate on a smartphone device. The map is the important information here. We don't want to overcome that with some detailed information. But I can get to the detailed information if I tap on this row, and now I can go to the detail pane, and that's just like what we saw on the desktop application. And I've got the same action icons here as well. Now if I go back to the main app again, I want to point out those same action icons are down here at the bottom. They're just all listed here in a row. So I've got the trash can for delete. I've got the editing icon. If I click on the pen, it'll zoom in on the address. If I click on phone, it'll actually take that phone number and try to dial it, and it has a confirmation message here. I'm going to cancel out of that. And then you have the chatting, which will open up your chat messaging window, or email, which will open up a different window to send emails to. I won't demo those right now. Those are pretty common. But now I have the navigation icon here. If I click on this car icon, it's going to go to the map service on your phone, send in the current information and the customer's location, plot the route there, and then this time I can actually tap on the go button to get turn-by-turn directions to help me drive there. Isn't that awesome? Right? You can just tap, and then go, and you get your turn-by-turn directions to get you right there. Now, I need to go back to the main app. And if I want to get out of the pen view, right now I've got a pen selection, right? So if I want to get out of the pen selection view, I just tap on the map once, and it goes right back to the main app view. And then I can use pinch gestures again to zoom in on the map. Okay, so that's basically the smartphone in a nutshell. So just real quickly, I'm going to go switch to the tablet, and I'm going to show you what this looks like on a tablet. All right, I have the tablet view on the screen now. And if you look at this looks very familiar, right? Very similar to the desktop application. And that's because I've got the extra screen real estate. Now let me navigate the same way I did before. Now in this case, it's a mobile device, so I can use my fingers and just tap through the locations. I get the same map view here. I can use pinch gestures since this is a mobile device to zoom in. I can select now a customer pin. I'll go to that one. But the detail pane here actually looks like it was on the desktop, even though this is a mobile device. And that's because I have the screen real estate to support it. And now I can see all the detailed information here. So AppSheet supports all that. It recognizes what type of device you're using, what size format the screen is, to decide which way it wants to display the information to you. Very, very powerful. Okay, so in here, I'm going to tap the navigation icon just to show you the difference here. It's going to act very much like the smartphone, where it's going to go to the map service as a mobile device and then show you your route information. And notice here, it gives me multiple routes. I can click on the go button on either one and then get the turn-by-turn directions to go to that location. Okay, sorry, I had to make some adjustments there right at the very end. So now you've seen AppSheet on 3 different devices as far as maps, addresses, and routing. I hope you can see how powerful this will be for your business. I've got a lot more functionality to show you, so let's move on to the next demo video. Wasn't that awesome? How beneficial will it be for your business to be able to combine your data with a map view of locations and get turn-by-turn directions with a simple tap of a button? So let's continue into our next demo video, and I'll show you photo and signature capture as well as how to use barcode scanning. I hope I've whet your appetite to see more awesome AppSheet functionality. I got some more cool things to show you. I want to show you photo capture, signature capture, and barcode scanning in this demo video. I'm going to follow the same format as I did in the other video. I'm going to start off with the desktop version of the application, and then I'm going to transition to the mobile devices, a smartphone and a tablet, to show you how the features perform in those particular devices. Now you'll notice that the application that we're looking at is very familiar. It's the one that we used in our first video. This is my Service Insight video and has a lot of functionality already implemented in it. So I'm going to take advantage of that to demo these things to you today. So let's start off with photo capture. You'll notice here in my inventory list, I've got a number of items that don't have photos. So let's go in and update one. I'll just choose the top one here on the list. And then go into edit mode, clicking the icon on the bottom right, and click the camera. Now on a desktop application, it defaults to the file system. I have already downloaded a couple images, and so let me select one of those, open, and that image will then be tagged on the record. Now if I save this, I'll go back to the view, and you can see that my header already is updated with that image. And if I go back to the inventory details list, you can see my image is there in the list. Now the second thing I want to show you is signature capture, and for that I want to go to my work list. Now Service Insight, again, is a service work order management tool. And so I've got some functionality that's here. I'm not going to describe to you how the application itself works. There is a Service Insight video tour. If you want to go check that out, it'll tell you how the application works. I already have some information pre-staged here, so I just need to find an appropriate record. Let me scroll up here. I want one with the yellow box on it. And so this is a deck view in AppSheet. And what I like about the deck view is it has the action icons right here on each record. So when I click on this yellow box, it's an action that's performed. And the first thing it does is it pops up a message, do you want to do this? And I just click on work done to say, yes, I do. And then it goes into a screen that I can update. Now the scenario here in Service Insight is that a technician would come in, do some work, and when he's done, he would click this button, come to this screen, fill out his details, and then he needs to get acknowledgement and approval from the customer. And so the customer would typically click, yes, I acknowledge you've done the work and I approve. And then he would add his signature. And this is where we capture the signature. So I'll click the padlock here. That unlocks the field so I can make an update. And what I'll do is... Oh, that's good enough. All right, I was going to try to write Willow Systems, but I messed up already. So now if I save that, I'll come back into my work list. This is the record I've updated. So if I click on the row just to view it, then I can scroll down and I can see that my signature is attached. All right, so the third thing I want to demo is the barcode scanning. But for desktops and laptops, they don't have scanning capabilities by default. You need to install third-party hardware and software in order to enable that functionality. I do not have that hardware software here, so I won't demo it from the desktop, but I will demo it from a mobile device, which is where you're likely going to be using that functionality anyway. So with that in mind, I'll switch to the smartphone, and I'll put this back into a white screen here, go into another tab so that the smartphone doesn't get obscured. And let me bring up the smartphone view. Okay, here's my smartphone view. Now the first thing that probably might strike you is the image isn't updated on the first row. Remember, we updated that on the desktop application. And the reason for that is we just haven't synchronized this version of the application on my smartphone. So let me do that right now. There are two ways. You could click the circle arrow that's in the upper right hand corner, but you can also do this. If you tap and hold and pull down, you'll see it says release to sync, and then if you release, it starts syncing the application. It might take a few moments for that to update. Now what it's doing is any changes that were on this device get pushed up to the server for everyone else to get access to them, and then any changes that were on that server that are not yet on this device are pulled down. And now it's done its sync, and you can see that the image is updated on the row here. So now let's go to the functionality. I want to show photo capture on the smartphone. So I've got the second row here. Let me go update that. And this time, going into edit mode, I'm going to use the camera on the device. And I have a book here on my desk. I'll just take a picture of the book. So when you tap on the camera icon, you get two options. You can take photo with the camera, or you can choose an existing image already on the device. For me, I'm going to do take photo. And you see the camera comes up, and now here's the book I have. And line it up here, take a picture. And if you don't like the picture, you can say retake and take it again, but I'm going to tap on use photo. And you can see that it's been attached to the row. Now while I'm here, I could update other information. For right now, I'm just going to save it. And then go back into the inventory list. And you can see now my second row is updated with the image of that book. Okay, so let's move on to signature capture. And again, I need to go to the work order list. And again, I need to find a row that's has a yellow icon. So I need to try to remember this. H1119-2018 is the ID. So if I tap on work done, you know what? Let's cancel. Let's go back here. What I want to do is go back into that work order. Here it is. And I want to tap on the row like I'm viewing it. And I just want to point out that at the top, you have those action icons again here. So I could tap on work done here, and now I'm in the same functionality. Tap on work done. And then as before, I could start filling out this information, come down to customer acknowledgement. Now watch what happens if I do tap to unlock. You notice how it puts the little dot in the middle right here? You don't really want that. I don't really like that feature. That needs to be fixed, but you can avoid that by just tapping on the padlock. But to get rid of this, if you make a mistake, just simply tap the clear button, which is the icon in the upper right hand corner of the white box. Now I can put in a signature. And for this, I'm just going to put, I don't know, first thing that comes to mind, Oreos. Finesse. So, and then save that. Okay, and then go back to my work list, find my item, it's the H1119 here. If I tap on that row and then go to inspect it, you can see that I have my signature here at the bottom. Okay, so now I want to show you barcode scanning. I want to go back to the inventory list, and actually what I want to do is go into the second row that I put the picture on, the picture of the book. I tap on that and go into edit mode, and you can find barcode fields because they have a unique icon next to them. So let me scroll down. This is called UPC code field. Here it is. It doesn't have anything in it right now, but you can recognize it by the square blue icon with the 4 white squares in the middle. That's actually a QR code symbol, but it's used for QR code scanning or barcode scanning. I'm going to use it for barcode here. And what I have here is an open box of batteries. I'm just going to scan its barcode. So when I bring this up, if I tap on this icon, it brings up the camera, and I don't want it on the barcode just yet. I'm going to show you how quick it gets the barcode. So if I move it over to the barcode, see how quick it grabs that? And then it puts the number in here, and now I can change other information if I want to. Click Save. And that's been saved. I'll go back to Inventory. And if I want to view that row and then scroll down, I can see the UPC code field has a number in it. All right, so go back to inventory details. And now what I want to show you, the big use for barcode scanning is a searching. So at the top right corner, you can see I've got a little magnifying glass. And if I tap on that, it puts me in search mode. And next to the search field, you can see I've got a little icon there, kind of like the QR code. This time it's white with 4 black squares. If I tap that, it puts me into barcode scanning mode again. And at this time, if I scan the barcode, you see what happens? I get all the items that have that barcode attached to it come up on the list. Now, in the real world, you probably shouldn't have more than one item to a barcode, but for my testing purposes, I've used this barcode a number of times. So you can see I've got 3 items in the list. If you have that, you know you have a problem. You need to go fix it. So that's the functionality on the smartphone. So what I'd like to do now is switch over to the tablet device and show you how all of this works on the tablet. Okay, here's the tablet view, and I'm in landscape mode. And again, you can see that the 2 first lines are not updated yet, so I need to do a sync. This time I'm going to tap on well, actually, watch what happens. If I pull down here in landscape mode, I don't get the sync request, right? But one thing I want to point out is you can rotate your devices and put them in portrait mode and operate with the devices in portrait mode. AppSheet supports that. Now, if I do pull down, you can see it's got the synchronization activated, and if I release, it then does the synchronization. And so it's going to go through and do the same thing. Any updates that were on this particular device get pushed up to the server, and all those changes that I made on the desktop and the smartphone app are brought down onto now the tablet. Now, I want to contrast this. If I click on the little circle icon in the upper right-hand corner, that also does a sync, but it's a different view. You notice that was a black screen with a logo in the middle. That's the Service Insight logo. You can put your company logo there. We can do that for you in your AppSheet application. That's what's called a branded screen view. Okay, so I'm going to operate here in portrait mode for the rest of this demo on the tablet. So first thing is the photo capture. Let's go to, well, I'm already on inventory. So let's pick an item here. I don't know, control 12 wire, wire 12 gauge, I don't know. Click on that. So now I'm just going to click on the camera. Again, I get 2 choices. I can take photo or choose existing. I'm going to say take photo. And I've got one of my cards here. I'll take a photo of that, say use photo, save. And now when I go back to my inventory list, you can see I have my photo attached to that particular row. So again, signature capture, let's show that real quick. If I go to my work list and scroll and find one here that's available to use. Put this in the middle, the E1119-2018. I'll tap on that. I tapped on the action button. Now I tap work done. I go into the view, scroll down, and now I want to hit the padlock to unlock, and then I can put my signature in here. I'm just going to do a bunch of scribbles with a line through, maybe another line through, and then save that. And if I go back to the work list, that E1119 is right in the middle. If I tap on that row to view it, I can scroll down and I can see that I have the information attached to that particular row. Okay, so now on to barcode scanning. Very much the same as on the smartphone. So I can come in and, well, let's just right away, let's do a search. And if I do search and I bring up my barcode here, activate the scanner. I want to make sure I'm not looking at it, and then I can, there, I didn't even really see it, and it comes up and I show the 3 items here. Now to get out of barcode scanning, just simply tap the X in the upper right hand corner and you go back to your main view. And let's say the item that I just updated with the photo, I want to add that barcode to. I'm going to put the same barcode on it, go to the barcode field, tap that barcode field, scan the barcode, save it, go back to inventory list, and now I want to do a search, and I'm going to scan that barcode again, and this time you can see I've got 4 items in the list instead of the 3. So now you've seen on the 3 devices the photo capture, signature capture, and barcode scanning. I hope you're starting to appreciate the strength of the functionality that AppSheet can offer in applications for your business. Okay, isn't that incredibly easy? You can add photos, capture signatures, and utilize the barcode scanning capabilities of your mobile device, and it's so simple. But they are very amazing and powerful additions to your software system. Next up, I'm going to show you tables, quick edits, and offline mode. Alright, we've covered several awesome AppSheet features. We've gone over maps, addresses and coordinates, turn-by-turn routing, photo capture, signature capture, and barcode scanning. But there's a lot more to AppSheet, and I'm going to cover several key features within the AppSheet book of features. We're going to cover tables, quick edits, and offline mode in this particular demo video. These are features that are very important for your business applications. Every mobile system probably should not be without them. Now I'm going to go through the same format as I did before. I'm going to start off with the desktop application. I'm going to move to a smartphone device and then go to the tablet device so you can see how these features work on all the devices. So let's get into it. We're looking here at the normal inventory table that we've been seeing in the other demo videos. This happens to be a great table to show the particular table functionality to you. And just like any other table, we've got column headers here, and we've got our rows of information. If I click on a row, it goes into view mode, and then I can go into edit mode, just like we've seen in the other demo videos. I'm not going to do that now. But what I want to show you, and not all mobile apps or web apps support this kind of functionality, but if I activate the window and then click on the column header, the column is sorted when I click on it, and then I can click again and sort it in descending order. And then if I want to go back to product description, I can sort that back in ascending order. That's a pretty cool feature and pretty powerful in a mobile device application. You don't see that in very many of the applications. So with that, I'm going to go and show you probably one of the most powerful things I've seen in mobile applications. AppSheet recently introduced this feature called table editing. And you'll see now that there's this new icon here at the top that I just turned on for this demo. I didn't have it on before, it wasn't there. If I click that icon, it's going to convert the table into edit mode, basically treat it like a spreadsheet, and then I can go to any one of these columns in here and change the values on them. So go to that one and that one. I can jump over here to quantity ordered, maybe change these. I'm going to put the values of 99 in here so they're easily detectable later when we're looking at the changes. So I've made 5 changes there. If I save them, click to save at the bottom of the table. Those will get saved, and now they're ready to be sent out to the server. Now I want to point your attention to the upper right hand corner. You can see that there's 3 edits showing there, and the numbers going down. There were 5 edits that I made, right? So start off with 5. It's automatically sending those to the server, and that's an important thing that I want to contrast with you here in just a second, as far as how those updates work. So that's a pretty powerful feature, right? Not very many applications themselves across the board enable that kind of editing, let alone in a mobile application system. So that's table editing. Now I want to show you quick edits real quick. So if I click on one of these rows like we've done in the past, we've just been looking at the data here, but what I didn't go over with you and what I'm going to show you now is there's this quick edits feature. So I can take certain columns here and turn them on for editing, and you can see them here with the plus and minus sign. So I can increase the value of this. Let's go to 9. Well, let's just change this to 99 so we can see the value, and put order here as 99. Okay, and what will happen here is those edits will get applied automatically as soon as you're done typing, as soon as AppSheet detects that you're done typing. So I went out of that field. You can see the one edit in the upper right hand corner. That'll go away here in just a second to show that edit's getting applied. Okay, there it goes. All right, so that's quick edit. So why is this useful? Well, when you're in view mode, typically you can't edit anything, so you have to switch to edit mode, and then everything is editable there. And the problem is that sometimes you changed the wrong field, or you inadvertently changed a field you didn't mean to, and you don't even realize it, and then you save it, and then people are wondering why this field changed. What this allows you to do with quick edits is it allows you to turn on only specific fields that anybody can edit, and then they just need to come into here, into the view mode, and to make their changes, and you can actually disable the whole editing feature for those people who don't need the editing feature at all, but they can still change specific fields. Very, very powerful feature to have, especially in a system where you got multiple people trying to interact with the system. So that's quick edits. What I want to show now is offline mode. Now this is probably one of the coolest things in a mobile application system. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off Wi-Fi right now. And so Wi-Fi is off. If I go in and I try to do a sync, you'll see this network error message at the top of the screen. It's telling me that I don't have connectivity. But the thing about the application is I can still edit as if everything is A-OK, right? So I've just clicked on table editing. I'm back in editing mode. I can come down here, and just to contrast, I'm going to put in 88 here. So 88 is my offline edits. So I'm going to do a few 88s here. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to do a few 88s because I want to be able to see these in the other devices when we do a refresh. All right, so I applied all those. I do my save. Now I did a number of edits there. I don't know, 7 or 8. And so when I save, I've got 4 edits setting there waiting. Okay. Now I can go to another table here. Let's go to here. And we saw these action buttons before. If I click on an action button and click stop appointment, what it actually does is update a couple things within the system. And so you'll see that it jumps by a couple edits here. And if I do it on this one here again, so you can see it, stop appointment went to 8. So now I have 8 edits sitting there waiting. I'll go back to inventory just because. And so I'm going to turn on Wi-Fi. And this is where I want to contrast the way the edits worked before. Before, the edits automatically applied in the background and got sent up to the server automatically. Here, when I turn my connectivity back on, they don't get sent automatically. And the reason for that is probably because when you lose connectivity, you might be in and out of connectivity. You might lose it and reconnect, lose it and reconnect. And so once you've lost connectivity, AppSheet is detecting that. They want you then to manually sync up, basically say when you're done with your changes, because order is important here. And if you're making some changes and they get pushed up and then you're making some others and you're in the middle of an edit or something like that, things can get kind of out of order and might mess up some of the data. So we want to wait until you're satisfied with all your changes, and then you as a user specify when you want those to be synced up with a server and made available to everybody else. So you would have to physically manually click on the sync button, and then now you can see here I have my connectivity. There's no warning message, and you can see down here at the bottom saving changes 3, 4. Okay, so we're back. I sped up the video, and it did take not quite 2 minutes. I was watching just the clock on the computer. Not quite 2 minutes for those updates to go through, so it's not too bad. Obviously, if you have more changes, it's going to take a little bit longer to go through. But the point is that you can still operate in offline mode. And then once you're back in connectivity, you apply your changes. You can just click sync and go off and do whatever it is you need to do and let all those changes to get synchronized and put up to the server. So that's the three functionalities: tables, quick edits, and offline mode on a desktop computer. So what I'll do is I'll switch to the smartphone now, and I'll go through these same sets of features on the smartphone so you can see what those are like. Okay, so you can see my smartphone view now. And the very first thing I want to do is do a sync. So if you look at the screen here, I've got like the stock column and the allocated column. And if you just look at the first rows, you can see the values that are currently there. And when I do a sync, so I pull down, hold, pull down, and release, and then it starts the sync. It'll go through the synchronization process, and then you can see I've got my updates that have been applied. So now I want to go over tables. So again, if I tap on a table column, you can see that it sorted the stock column there, and if I tap on it again, it's going to sort in descending order. Go back to product description, it gets sorted in ascending order. And now I want to put the table in edit mode, and here you are. On a smartphone device, I've got edit mode, and now I'm going to go down to these rows towards the bottom, and I'm going to put 77 in these as different values. And then I'm going to save that. And you can see in the upper right hand corner there's 4 edits there. Those are going to start automatically applying and get updated to make them available to everybody else. So while that's doing that, I'll go on to quick edits. And so if I tap on any row here, I'm going to tap on control system, and there we go. And so go down, and I have I'm going to use 77 again. So I'm going to go into ordered, go to 77. So see, I can make the changes here just like on the desktop application. It's not any different. I can change the 16 here to 17 to 18, 19, 20. Allocated, I don't know, I can make a few there. And you can see now I've got 3 edits. It shows 4 edits because I just changed it, and it's going to apply those 4 edits. And now I can go back to my other screen. Those 3 edits, still waiting, 2 edits now, are still waiting there to get applied, even though I'm going on doing other things. Those edits happen in the background. So now, to simulate offline mode on the smartphone, what I need to do is go into the settings and turn off my cellular and my Wi-Fi. Find my settings here. And so cellular, I'm going to turn cellular off. I'm going to go to Wi-Fi. I'm going to turn Wi-Fi off. And then I will go back to my application. Let's get rid of settings. Go back to the application. All the updates had been made, thankfully. And now if I do a refresh here, you can see I get the network error. Please check connectivity and try again. Click OK there. Okay, and now if I pull down and try to do a sync, I get the network error there at the top as well. And then I click the plus to, or the X to get rid of it. Okay, so now I can go back into edit mode on my table. And this time I'll come in and I'll update some values to, say, I don't know, 66. All right, and you can see at the top of my screen I got 4 edits there. Same thing, I can go over to my work screen. I can find there. So if I click on the red clock symbol, it'll do the same thing as I did before, because I know it puts 2 updates there. You can see it went from 4 to 6. So I do it again. So back to inventory. Okay, so I've got updates sitting here waiting. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go back to settings, and I'm going to turn on the Wi-Fi. And okay, I got connected to the one I want. If I go back to the application, so again, these updates are sitting here waiting to be applied. If I drag down and do the synchronization, you can see now it's applying those changes, saving 3 to 9, 4 to 9. Applying those to the server to make them available to everybody else. Okay, those updates have been applied. I'd sped up the video again, and again, it was less than 2 minutes for those updates to get applied. All right, so that's offline mode on the smartphone. Now let me switch to the tablet device so you can see how it works on a tablet. Okay, so you can see the tablet on the screen, and I'm going to leave it in landscape mode this time, and I'm going to do the refresh. Tap on the arrow at the top. You can see it's doing the synchronization for the app. This might take a moment for it to do that. And my updates have been applied. So you can see I have the 77s and the 66s numbers here on some of these rows that I updated from the smartphone application. So same thing here. So I have my table view. If I can sort, I can tap on a column, sorted the stock column in descending, sorted in ascending. I can go to product code. I can sort it in ascending or descending. Go to product description, sort that by ascending. And you can see how quick and how responsive that is. It's not slow at all. So now table, we got table editing. We got the icon here. Same thing, very similar to what it was on the desktop computer. Now on here, let's see here. Let's change. Well, no, let's just do the same thing. So if I go to control system here and change this value. Save, and now you can see I got the 3 edits, and those edits will start applying to the screen. While those are applying, I'm going to go into one of these rows, just show you the quick edit here on the tablet. Same sort of thing, right? No difference. Click on that a few times, and now when I pause, right, you can see the one edit up in the upper right hand corner. I can go back to inventory details now. And all those edits have been applied already. I guess I'll show you offline mode now. So I'll go into settings again. And this is not a cellular enabled tablet. So all I got to do is turn off Wi-Fi. And go back to the application. If I do a sync, I get the network error. Cancel out of that. And let's make some additional updates. So let's go back in the table editing. Save those changes. Now I have 3 edits waiting there. Go back to my work screen. And this time I'm just going to click on some of these green buttons. So what that does is put like a start time on them. So I'll just do a few of these. And you can see that these are just one edit at a time. There's only one thing being changed on each of these rows, so let's do 4 of those. Okay, so back to inventory just because, and so now I have these edits setting there waiting. I get my connectivity again and go back and turn on Wi-Fi. Got connected to the one I want, and now go back to the app. Okay, sped up the video, and you can see now I've waited about a minute and the updates still haven't started being applied. So what I would need to do at this point is to do a manual synchronization. And you can see now I'm going through saving changes. Okay, sped up the video. Now I had fewer updates this time, so it didn't take quite as long. It was just a little over a minute for those updates to go through. Now, typically the updates, you don't have to sit and wait. So if you're thinking, oh, wow, that's a long time to wait, I don't want to wait that long. No, typically in normal usage, you're going along your merry way and making changes, and the updates are just happening in the background. You don't even have to worry about them. This is only when you've lost connectivity and gone into offline mode and then have to manually sync them, then you're going to have that wait time, and that shouldn't happen very frequently at all. Okay, so I've gone over the 3 devices. I've showed you tables, table editing, quick edits, and offline mode, and how all that works. Now, I can't show everything, right? So I haven't shown everything that's available in these particular features, but I hope you can see how powerful these things are. I've kind of been waving my hand and go over into these quickly, but this is very critical. So offline mode is going to be very valuable, especially to any business who's got people who need to travel or go out into the field where they may not have connectivity. All right, I hope it's sinking in that AppSheet has some outstanding features built right into its platform ready to be used. To be able to continue working with your software system even when you have no connectivity will raise your competitive advantage to a whole other level. And how about the ability to change data right from the table view on the mobile device? How cool and useful will that be? Now let's move on to our last demo video. In this demo video, we're going to cover workflows, actions, and custom format rules. Now, these features are the heart and soul of every AppSheet application. Workflows are the behind-the-scenes automation that's going to save your business hours and hours of time. Actions are automations that are employee-initiated, such as tapping on a button. And custom format rules are ways to get more information visually about your customer data. We're going to follow the same format as we did in the other videos. We're going to start off with the desktop. We're going to move to the smartphone and then to the tablet so you can see these features in all three devices. And you'll notice right off the bat that we've got a different application we're looking at. This is a distribution application. It has some similarities as what we've seen before in that you need to capture customer orders and that there's inventory items, but it also deals with some market pricing and custom pricing, which we're not going to demo in this particular video. What I'm going to do is start off by placing an order into the system. So I'll click on the button here, and you'll notice a very simple screen to help guide the employee through adding an order into the system. I'm going to add a product item, select an item here. You'll notice the new fields pop up when I select one, so I can add in the quantity. I'll put in 3 there. And when I come back to the main order view, you'll notice additional fields popped up. These are all 0 values. There's no point in cluttering up the view initially if they're just going to be zeros. Once items are added, then those fields have value, so they are displayed. I'm going to add a second item here. I want to show real quickly. You'll notice that inventory item is not in the list. So this is a customized way to select the list so you don't duplicate adding items into your order. I just wanted to point that out. So I'll save this item. And now if I come back and I click save, I get this message because this is a required field. It wasn't initially there when I started the order. It was added once it detected that there were actually items on the order, and now I'm required to put in this date, if this is the expected delivery date. So I'll click save on that, and what's happening now is it's going to add that order into the system. Those updates are getting pushed up to the server. That's going to fire off some workflow rules behind the scenes. It's going to inspect this order, and it's going to send out an order confirmation notice. Now, while we're waiting for that to happen, I want to describe this application a little bit to you so you can kind of follow along. There's 2 status columns here. The first one is a delivery status. The second one is a paid status. And this application is designed to go through a workflow process. Specifically, when there's no icon here in the delivery status column, that means that this order is waiting to be processed. When there's a green icon here with a person pushing a cart, that means the truck is being loaded. The gray person means that the truck is loaded. A green truck means this order is out for delivery, and a gray truck means this order is delivered. Now, the red exclamation point signifies a problem in this particular case, that this is past its expected delivery date and we need to look at it, or the business needs to look at it. Now, in the paid status column, no icon means everything's good. Green $ means that this has been paid. And if I scroll down here, I'll see a couple other icons. There's an orange icon, orange $ icon, which means that this is almost past due. And the red $ means it is past due. All right, so you heard the ding in the background. That's actually the confirmation notice being received. So if I come to my email list here, and I'm going to make this a little larger so you can see it, and then scroll down. So here's my message. So there's the body of the email. This is all customizable. And this is actually a PDF file that's been attached to the email. Now, because it's only one page, AppSheet is showing it in the email. That's pretty cool, right? If it's more than one page, it'll actually be shown as a PDF file that you need to click on in the PDF viewer in order to look at. And again, this is a template, a customized template. You can change anything on here that you want. This one's just been designed this way. It's got my specific order information all shown right here. Note the scheduled delivery date shows here. And you've got all this information about your order, as well as some messaging or whatever else you want to show in your order confirmation. Okay, so back to the application. I mentioned that there's this workflow process. I'm going to go into this order and simulate that. So first thing to do is, as I'm processing this order, is to put it into a loading state. And when I do that, the application updates for everybody else to see that this order is actually being loaded. And if I go back in again and pretend that now the truck is loaded, click on the loaded icon, and if I go back now, everybody can see that it's loaded. Once the driver leaves, he'll click out for delivery, and now if I go back, everybody else using the system can see that this particular order is out for delivery. And then if I go back in one more time, click on the delivered, this would simulate the driver being on site, has unloaded his truck, and he's now needing to get acceptance from somebody on site. I'm just going to type in a letter here. I'll put in the letter T. And so T signs it, and they save. The system is updated with that delivered information. Workflow rules are kicking off, inspecting this order, and those workflow rules are going to determine that they need to send out another notice indicating to the customer that your order has been delivered. Now, while we're waiting for that to come through, I'm also going to go in and pretend now the customer's called us later to give us payment. Someone comes in and marks this as paid, and that's going to update the system with that payment information, and then a paid notice gets sent out as well. So if I go to my email, I can see now that my delivered confirmation has been received. Now open that up, and you'll notice now it has some text here showing that's been delivered, and payment is due by March 10th on this particular order. And here's my acceptance information, right? T accepted this and signed it. That shows up on the confirmation notice as well. All customizable, by the way. And so I got another email in, and that's probably my paid notice. I'm going to look at my paid notice, and this, you can see that it's updated now to show it's been paid with a thank you message. The payment date has been updated to reflect when it was physically paid. And then I've got another message, customized message down here. Again, all customizable. So continuing on with showing some of the workflow processes, the other confirmation notice this particular system has is a past due notice. And if I go down, I see this one as past due. And the workflow rules can be implemented in such a way that they can inspect at a particular time and see what the state of things are and send out that past due notice automatically. But let's say the customer says they haven't received it. An employee could come in and click on this action icon, send notice, and it will regenerate that past due notice and send it out to the customer. And I'm also going to contrast that with one of these that's showing almost past due and send a notice out for that one as well. Okay, so that first notice came through. Open up this PDF file, and you'll notice here's the past due notice that's been regenerated. Shows payment due date was due on February 7th. Here's some customized messages. And then contrast that with the one that's almost past due. Just got that email as well. Double click on that. And you'll notice here that this is just simply sending out the delivered notice, right? So an order can't be past due if it's never been delivered. In this particular system, what happens is the payment due date is scheduled for 30 days after the delivery date. You notice it was delivered January 16th. Payment is due on February 16th. It's not yet past due. You may, in your particular system, want to send out a different invoice notice to indicate that, hey, your order is coming due soon, maybe with a more customized message here, or call out more attention to it rather than say delivered, say, due soon or something, right? Okay, so that's the workflow processes and the action icons. Now again, the action icons send invoice, right? If you want to manually kick off an action. And then we had the process workflow, right? Going from loading to loaded to out to delivery to delivered. That's signifying a process flow. And I don't know if you noticed, but each of those actions only showed up once the other action has been applied because they need to be in sequence. So they never show up together. Now, the last thing is custom format rules. And we've already kind of covered that a little bit, right? So we have custom icons that are showing up in the status column, and they're showing up in specific colors. Those are all controlled by custom format rules. The same with the payment status column. But also notice that the order ID has different colors as well. So when an order is delivered in this particular application, the order ID is grayed out as well. And that's just to signify that you shouldn't change this order. It's already been delivered. And the red text down here is just another re-emphasis that there's an issue with this particular order that somebody needs to look at. And that's useful when you're looking at maybe other areas of the application. For example, if I was in this screen, you'll notice that the text carries over as red in this particular view as well. It'll happen throughout the entire application. Okay, with that, what I'll do is I'll switch over to my smartphone. Okay, you should now see my smartphone on the screen. And the first thing I want to do is do a sync. So let me pull down, do a synchronization to make sure I have all the updated information. Okay, so the application is updated, and I'll go through the same process here. I'm going to add a new order, select a different customer here, add a couple items into the list. So I'm going to go with inventory item 10 this time, and then I'm going to add another item. If I go down to 10, it's gone. Inventory item 11. Okay, I need to put in an expected delivery date. Just use that and save. And now it's generating that confirmation notice after the updates and send that out. Now while I'm waiting for that, I can go ahead and go into this, and I'm just going to go through the process, pretend it's loading. It now has been loaded, tap on the loaded button. The truck is leaving the building, it's going out for the delivery. And now the delivery driver is on site. He's delivered it, and he wants to get it accepted by somebody. So I'm going to put in the letter R, and then R signs it, and then save that. And then those updates are getting applied, and that notice will be sent out for it being delivered. Now, obviously, in the real world, this wouldn't happen this closely back to back, right? And then while that update is going through, showing that it's been delivered, I can come in here and I can tap on the paid icon to show that it's been paid. And while I'm waiting for those notices to come through, I can come down here and the past due one, go ahead and generate that notice for this customer, and this one I can go ahead and generate that notice, just so you can see again, same thing we did on the desktop. I want to show everything the same. Okay, so you heard some of the dings happening, so I'm going to switch over to my desktop and go to the emails, and I have these list of messages here. So here's my new order, should be the order confirmation for my new order, shows schedule. Let me make this bigger again. And shows the scheduled delivery date, all that for the new order. Here is the notice to indicate that it was delivered, that same order, OIJ. I'll go back to this previous message, OIJ. And then this is probably the paid notice for OIJ. There we go, it's been paid, thank you very much. And then this is likely the past due notice. And there we go, the past due for T5A. And then contrast that with the one that's almost past due, due February 16th, just sends out the regular delivered confirmation notice. Okay. So that's pretty much for the smartphone. Obviously the icons and the processing is all the same. The custom format rules we've covered. We don't need to go over those again. So I'll switch now to the tablet and show you how this works on or how it looks on the tablet. Okay, so you should see the tablet view on the screen now. The very first thing I want to do is a sync. So synchronize the application so any updates that haven't come through yet do come through. And here we are with the updated application. And the very first thing, I'm going to place an order just like we did before. Choose a different customer. Add a couple items to the list. Let me scroll down. Why not? Oh, by the way, while I'm here, let me just show this. So if I type in a number here, because I have numbers on my inventory items, you can do a search here and drill into your inventory items. I add another one here, right? I get that inventory item. And so add a couple, save that. I'll add a second item here, and I'll do the same thing. So if I come into here and I do a search for 1001, you'll notice it doesn't show up. I'm going to select 2. Okay, and again, I need to put in my expected delivery date. Sure, why not? Let's just save that one and save. Okay, so now I've got a new order in the system. It's here at the top of the screen, and it's going through its process and it's going to send out that confirmation notice. And why not? I'll just go through the action icon process here. So now delivered. I need to do acceptance. Signature. Okay. So now those updates are going through into the system. While I'm here, I can probably just go ahead and mark it paid. And then I'll scroll down. Here's my past due one. I'll send that invoice. And to contrast that, I'll send that invoice. Okay. And now I'll switch over to my desktop to see the messages that are coming through. So here we are in the email list. And this first one here, you can see one page. That's my new order, P8K. If I go to the second one here, bring up the PDF now because it's more than one page. P8K showing delivered. And you hear the dinging going on with all the messages coming through. Go to the third message here. This should show my paid notice. There you go, P8K. Past due notice. So all this is just to show everything's happening exactly the same no matter which device you go to. And there's the final notice. So I hope you can see how powerful these workflow rules are. It's been very simple and I've gone through it very quickly. But again, there's a lot of work going on behind the scenes to make sure this happens. And there's going to be a lot of things in your particular business that we're going to be able to automate to save you time. Wasn't that another awesome demo? I hope you can see the power that these workflows and actions can bring to automating the various manual processes in your business to not only save employee time, but also provide a better impression of your business to the customer. And as I said before, I wish I could demo much more to you. I initially wanted to show you some more in-depth custom functionality in various other applications, but I simply don't have the time in this class. If you do have some specific feature or functionality you'd like to see, please don't hesitate to contact me and request it. You should be seeing my contact information at the top of the screen, so just reach out to me and I'll be happy to help you in every way that I can. Isn't AppSheet an awesome secret weapon? I love this platform. Not because it's easy to build applications, but because it allows me to put together quality business applications without having to worry about all the hassles and hurdles you have to go through like those other development platforms you go through. Now, if I haven't stressed this enough, AppSheet is a very easy to use platform and also has very reasonably priced plans. You can build your own applications in AppSheet. All you have to do is go to AppSheet, set up an account, and choose your plan. But keep this in mind, you still need to build the app, and doing so takes time, which you need to help improve your customer service. So what do? Well, I recommend that you hire someone to build the app. Let's look at it this way. As I said earlier, your time is worth $50 an hour, at least $50 an hour towards the company revenue. So you want to spend that time towards growing the company. Now, a custom app of equal size and functionality would cost over $20,000 to build. But what if I told you could have somebody build it for that $50 an hour and they could have it built in 30 days? Would you do it? Well, of course you would, because that means that you're spending $8,000 versus $20,000, which is a savings of over $12,000 to get a quality back office software solution in your hands in only a month's time. Wouldn't it be great to be able to save your business over half of the usual development costs? Who wouldn't choose to do that? Okay, so that's my 3 secrets on how to automatically increase your profits without changing one process or procedure within your business. So let's take a look at putting it all together. And keep in mind that, again, we have an assumption of our sample company of about 10 employees. In secret number 1, we found that by saving at least 1 hour per employee per day, you can increase your business revenue over $125,000 annually for a business with 10 employees if your business puts that saved time back into improving the customer service. And you can do that without spending 1 extra penny on costly advertising campaigns to try to draw in more customers. And in secret number 2, By reducing or eliminating printed paper, mailing costs, computer hardware, and IT services, you can decrease costs by over $23,000 per year without spending any of your time or your employees' time to make it happen. You have your software do it for you. And the secret number 3, when making the smart choice and selecting a development platform for building your new software system, you could save over $12,000 in application development costs and end up with a quality software solution and do it without having any technical employees within the business. So let's take a look again at our profit formula. Profit equals revenue minus discounts, refunds, minus costs and expenses. And just as a reminder, if revenue goes up, profit increases. If discounts or expenses go up, then profit decreases. That's bad. If discounts or expenses go down, then profit increases. That's another good thing. So let's plug in the numbers that we got from our 3 secrets. Profit equals revenue plus our increase of revenue of $125,000 minus discounts, refunds, which we don't have in our masterclass today, minus costs and expenses decreased by the costs and expenses we were able to save. So the $23,000 from the printed paper mailing costs and reduction of computer hardware, and the $12,000 in savings of development costs. So adding these numbers together, that's a total profit increase of $160,000. Isn't that incredible? Now, do you remember this number? From the very beginning of the masterclass today, I pointed out what could you do with these increase in profits, and $160,000 was that top number. You probably thought at that time, no way can I see that amount of increase. But I hope you can see from today's masterclass that it actually is an achievable number. And I promise to show you how to automatically increase your profits without changing one process or procedure within your business. And I hope you can see now how that's possible. I've not asked you to change one thing about how you run your business. In fact, what I've suggested is that you make changes in your software system to take care of those manual tasks that you and your employees are doing in order to free up time so you can spend that towards growing your business. Now, can you imagine increasing your profits by $160,000 a year? And what would it be for 20 employees in your company? Or if you had 50 employees in your company? Can you imagine what the amount of increase in profits would be then? And it's all because of a small investment in the miracle of software. And if you make the same investments in the software of your company, I know you will see similar or even greater results. I'm pretty sure I know what you're thinking at the moment. There's just way too much to do. You need to find someone to build the apps or build it yourself. You'll need a data source, somewhere to host it, and someone to manage it for you. You'll need to create all the necessary accounts for the system and deal with the headaches of managing them. And who's going to handle all of the maintenance and enhancements that will most certainly be needed in your software system? It's just all too overwhelming. I want to ask you a very important question. If I could help you through it, would you be willing to allow me to help? If I could show you a very special package deal that would take all this work off your hands with very minimal effort on your part, would you be willing to hear what that package is? Yes? Okay then, let me show you a development package deal you won't want to miss. And I want to remind you about our special bonus that's exclusive only to each of you watching this masterclass today. I can't even offer this next month. So be sure to watch all the way to the end to hear about it. Before I get into the package specifics, I want to review the 6 steps to your new system. This will give you an overall idea of how this system is going to work for you. Step number 1, analyze your business processes and data. I recommend an initial meeting of an hour or even more to establish basic business processing and data sources that you utilize within your business. We probably won't discover everything in one meeting, so additional daily meetings in this first week will likely be needed to capture additional details. Communication is key between the two of us to make sure we get off to the best start to your new system. Step number 2, deliver at the end of the week to you a full basic working system. Now the goal here is to get a very good representation of your new system into your hands so you can begin using it as soon as possible. Step number 3, utilize the system and provide feedback for any changes. Now, as you use this system, you're going to begin to formulate new ideas, and we'll want to capture and integrate those into your software system. Now, don't worry. If you don't think you know what to suggest or how to go about it, as a professional, I will help guide you and ask the right questions so we can get your project moving forward. Step number 4, Begin expansion of the system and include additional feedback. Now this is where we start to expand the system to include all these advanced functionalities and automation and the workflows we talked about in today's masterclass. And we also start to include the additional feedback that you've been giving us as you've been using the application. Step 5 is the continued iterations where you use the system and provide feedback while we, Willow Mobile Systems, continues the expansion of the system and incorporating any of that feedback that you provide us. This will happen during weeks 2, 3, and 4. During this time, we will probably need less frequent meetings, maybe twice a week. And the purpose of the meetings is to discuss progress, your satisfaction with the system, and prioritization of any of the work left. As we come to the end of the first month, step 6 is where Willow Mobile Systems will deliver the official, fully functional system and invite all employees to begin using it if they're not already. We will also at this time provide any trainings on the usage of the system if needed. It's now time to reveal what's included in your software package. I'm so excited to be able to present this to you. We got a lot of great things coming your way. Are you ready for it? The first component in your software package is process analysis, a value of $1,997. Now this is where your effort comes in. I believe in working together to build the best software system. We need to be able to discuss what your current processing in your business is, as well as what you want improved, the things you like and the things you don't like. We also will continue with daily short discussions to follow up and note any new information or changes. The second component in your software package is data design, a value of $2,497. This goes hand in hand with process analysis because data design is heavily influenced by how the business operates. The goal is to allow for data to be easily retrieved and written by the application, as well as efficient storage of that information. Now, the typical data source is a database, but for some, this may be other cloud-based data sources such as Google Sheets. It depends on your preference and your budget. Databases, I have to point out, are much faster for moderate to large sets of data, so keep that in mind in your decision. Now, the third component in your package is data setup and install, a value of $1,497. Now, based on the plan you choose, Willow Mobile Systems will set up your data source once the majority of the data design is completed. We'll create the data structures and populate with any preliminary information. And we'll continually update the data source for as long as you have your system with us. The fourth component is application design, a value of $3,997. This is the part that takes all of the process analysis and the data design, blends them together to create the software solution to fit your business. This is where the look and feel of the system starts to come to light. It is also during this time when your feedback is most critical to ensure you're getting the best system, the applications you and your employees want. And the last component in your package is application build test, a value of $16,997. The build and test phase is probably the most intensive, as each avenue of the system is built, tested, and retested to ensure that everything is performing as expected. That brings the total value of this package to $26,985. But wait, what about your data source? Where will it be hosted? We mentioned that before. And who's going to manage and maintain it? Well, I'm proud to announce bonus number 1, data hosting, a value of $2,997 each year. Willow Mobile Systems will host your data source, create it, install it, and manage the account for you. We ensure all software updates are made as needed. We will manage and maintain the data for you, including periodic and frequent backups. And if you have special hosting needs, we can help with those too. So here's what your package includes. Process analysis, a value of $1,997. Database design, a value of $2,497. Database setup and install, a value of $1,497. Application design, a value of $3,997. Application build test, a total value of $16,997. And bonus number 1, data hosting, a value of $2,997 per year. That brings the total value of your package for the first year to an amount of $29,982 and the value of $2,997 in all subsequent years to handle that data hosting. So, what happens when the system needs updated or fixed? Or your employees need help with a question or a problem? Well, the typical software vendor charges up to 20% for support and maintenance of the system. And this work includes keeping all the software system up to date, handling of all installation update issues, resolving incompatibility problems, correcting of any bugs found, answering of user questions, and investigation and solve any other problems or issues leading to poor performance in the software. I am proud to announce that we have eliminated these problems for you as well, and now include in your software package bonus number 2, servicing and support, a value of $5,997 a year. This includes all maintenance on your software system, your hosted data source, and all related accounts. All software updates are tested to make sure no issues arise. All software performance is monitored to identify improvements. Software updates will be made as necessary, and any bugs identified in the software will be addressed as soon as possible based on criticality and prioritization. And to deal with your employees' questions or problems in using the system, we have a standard support plan that guarantees a 24-hour response time for any non-critical support request. Now, typically the response is quicker than that, but we ask that you allow us up to the 24 hours. So, here's what the package includes. Process analysis, a value of $1,997. Database design, $2,497 value. Database setup and install, a value of $1,497. Application design, $3,997 value. Application build and test, a value of $16,997. Bonus number 1, data hosting, a value of $2,997 each year. And bonus number 2, servicing and support, a value of $5,997 each year. That brings the total value of your package to $35,979 for the first year and a value of $8,994 each subsequent year. So, let me ask you, if this package could increase your profits by $160,000 a year, would it be worth it? You bet it would. But what if it could only increase your profits by $80,000 a year? Would it be worth it then? Absolutely. And what if it only increased it by $40,000? Is it still worth it? Definitely, I agree. But let me ask you this. What if all it could do is increase revenue by $125,000 a year? How about then? Is it worth it? And what if all it could do is rid all your headaches and time-wasting processes so you and your employees can focus on that all-important customer service? Would it still be worth it then? Yes, I agree, it would. Now, I could have charged over $26,000 to build a similar software system and then $9,000 a year for all of the servicing, support, and maintenance. After all, that's what the rest of the industry charges for very similar software solutions. But remember, my goal was to solve and fill a gap. I want to make these back-office software solutions available to all small businesses. So I want to help your business get moving faster in the forward direction. And if I happen to help larger businesses along the way, well, that's just a bonus for you, the larger business, and for me. Now, before I reveal the package pricing, I want you to know I had 2 choices. I could have charged a small, flat monthly price and then signed up as many clients as possible. But this would have left no ability for support, servicing, and hosting. Our time would have been spread too thin by the number of clients we signed up, and we would not have been able to properly service all of those accounts. Our second option would have been to create a slightly more expensive and comprehensive pricing structure that grows as your business grows and justifies all of the added servicing support. This allows for us to add and manage all of the plan features we discussed so your business can eliminate those headaches and focus on the business. We take care of you and your software system. So which option do you think that I chose? I chose option 2, of course. But I wanted to take it one step further to make sure that we had a product and services to fit as many business types as possible. So I next introduced 3 things. First, I established a monthly payment plan so costs can be spread out over time. Most software vendors require large upfront payment installments. I didn't want to do that. I want to earn trust and loyalty with my clients and build long-term relationships. The second thing I did was created 3 plan levels to meet a wider range of business budgets. For the smaller small businesses, even a very reasonably priced plan that supports sophisticated features may be out of reach. So additional plans help to fit into more budgets, and we'll cover those plans here in just a second. And lastly, I split the fees into 3 categories for each plan to fit varying business sizes. It isn't reasonable for a business with 10 employees to pay the same amount for servicing and support as a business with 50 employees. So the pricing structure tries to balance this out. Let's cover the 3 plans. First, there's the basic plan, then the standard plan, and then the premium plan. Now, the basic plan is low functionality using cloud-based data sources. And by low functionality, we just simply mean that some of the more sophisticated software features and functions will not be available in those applications. And for many business applications, this is perfectly fine. The standard plan is high functionality using cloud-based data sources. And by high functionality, we mean that the software has access to all of the features and functions that are available. The premium plan is also high functionality, but this time with database connectivity included. So this means that you get the advantage of the database and all the hosting and services that go along with it. So next, let's cover the 3 pricing categories. So each plan is broken up into 3 fees, and the first of those is a one-time setup initialization fee, and this is per app. And then there is the core service and support, and this is a per month fee. This covers the basic, the minimal servicing and support for your application. And then the third component is a per user charge. This is per user per month, and this is the charge that try to help balance out the cost as your business grows, i.e. the number of employees increase. So are you ready for the plan pricing reveal? Well, before we do that, let's one more time cover what your package includes. The first component of your package is process analysis, a value of $1,997. Then database design, a value of $2,497. Database setup install, which is a value of $1,497. Application design, $3,997 value. Application build test, which is a value of $16,997. And then bonus number 1, your data hosting, which is a value of $2,997 per year. And bonus number 2, servicing and support, a value of $5,997 per year. That brings your total package value for the first year to be $35,979, and the value for each subsequent year thereafter is $8,994. So are you ready for the plan pricing? Here we go. So your basic plan, your setup initialization is a one-time fee of $297 per app. The servicing and support is $197 per month per app. And then there's the per user charge in the basic plan of $10 per user per month. For the standard plan, it's $397 one-time fee per app. The servicing and support is $267 per month per app. And then the per user charge is $18 per month per user. The premium plan is $597 one-time fee per app, servicing and support $397 per month per app, and the per user charge is $25 per user per month. Now, I want to point out that the per user charge is regardless of how many apps you have. Now, typically we can cover most of your functionality in a single app, but if you have a large system, we might need to break it up into multiple apps to cover the large amounts of data that you'll have within your system. That's really more for the larger companies. But the per user charge is per user. It's not per user per app per month. It is per user regardless of the number of apps you have. Just want to make that clear. Let's compare the package value that we just saw on the previous slide with our 3 plans pricing structures for the first year. Now remember, our package value is based on an employee size of about 10 to 12 users. So let's compare the cost of our 3 plans. First year cost of 10 users. In the basic plan, that would be $3,861. Standard plan is $5,761. And the premium plan is $8,361. You are getting a complete back-office software system that can run on any device for less than the cost of the servicing and support of those other software solutions. Remember, our package value was about $36,000 for the first year and about $9,000 in each subsequent year after. Pretty incredible, right? Now let's compare this to other employee sizes. So first year cost of 5 users. The basic plan is $3,000 or $3,200. The standard plan is about $4,700, and the premium plan is about $6,700. For 20 users, the basic plan is $5,000, the standard plan is $7,900, and the premium plan is $11,300. For 50 users, the basic plan is $8,600, the standard plan is $14,400, and the premium plan is $20,300. Now, I guarantee if you went out and priced a software system with those other ways other methods, options of building a mobile software system for 50 users, it's going to cost you in the 50s or more in order to build that software system. That's not including the servicing and support. That's just for building the software itself. Do you see how incredible the AppSheet development platform and this package is? With just a little upfront investment and time from you to make sure that the right custom software system is being built, you'll have a complete, robust solution that will serve your business year after year while we take care of the updates and maintenance. You can then focus on the customer service and growth of your business. Sounds awesome, right? Well, now I'd like to discuss money. This package is one of the most reasonably priced options available in the market, but there's this notion that spending money is bad, and that prevents less wise people from taking action. Well, what is money really? Isn't it just a tool to barter with, to buy things with? And remember, money wasn't always the way people paid for goods or services, right? It became a common tool to barter with over time. Money is supposed to be used to buy things. And if you can spend just a little bit of money and get more in return, well, that's just a wise way to spend your money, right? And let me ask you this, what is your software system budget? If you don't have one, then you really need to wait no longer and install your software system as soon as possible. That most likely means that you're doing many things manually within your business, and software is going to give you a tremendous boost in the revenue for your business. But maybe it's the money that's holding you back. So let me ask you a question. The money comes back, right? In your business, you have your daily, weekly, monthly sales generating income for your business. And if the business needed to earn more money, you could expand your marketing efforts as one way, right? You could expand those and get more customers, get more sales, and therefore increase your revenue. And the money will come back. It replenishes. Does that happen with your time? You can't get back wasted time. Once it's gone, right? And I hope that now you understand from today's class that saving employee time so they can focus on your customers or clients is one of the keys to increasing the revenue and profits of your business. So you should look at your software system as an investment. It's a tool to save time, reduce costs, and boost the business profits. And if the old saying wasn't ringing true before, it should be now. You have to spend money to make money. And that's true for any tool you would buy for any business. A software system is no different. Now, if you have a software system, remember these items below, right? Your current system might be robbing your business of time and revenue if you're still doing tasks manually, you have complicated multi-step processes, you're using several independent software applications to manage your business, your software is more than a few years old, you're using off-the-shelf software system, you still operate on paper, your business still uses postal service as the primary communication, you're still tracking and analyzing data and reports by hand, and your software cannot scale as your business grows. If you already have a software system, what could be holding you back from upgrading to a custom-built mobile software system? Is it cost? Well, this package is most certainly less expensive than your current software system budget, I have to believe. Is it the functionality? The software system can do everything your current software can do, so it can't be that. Maybe it's your time to set up. Well, it's only your time needed to describe how you want your software system. I bet you didn't even get that much help with your current software system. Oh, I know what it is. It's enhancements. What if the system needs to be changed or a new feature added? And that's a very valid question. Some of you probably already hit this issue where you needed some enhancements to your software system. Software never ends. And in addition to bug fixes and routine maintenance, there will always be new features you'll wish to add. And maybe you were unpleasantly surprised with the cost of the enhancements in the past. Software enhancement fees can run anywhere from $1,000 for very small system changes up to $8,000 or more if you're doing very large additions or changes to the software system. And this is per enhancement. Now, it might seem like a lot, but think about the work involved. New software needs to be designed, built, and tested, and the existing software has to be retested to ensure nothing broke with the new changes. And the new updated software must be rolled out to all the users. All this takes time. Unfortunately, many businesses avoid these extra charges and they figure out a way to accomplish the same thing manually. And when this happens, the business is right back in that boat of wasted employee time and the revenues and profits take a hit. customer service goes down, the business attracts fewer new customers, or even worse, existing customers start to leave and go elsewhere. Now, I want to help solve this problem, so I'm excited to include bonus number 3. One enhancement per month. This is a value of $23,997 per year. This is huge. To be clear, during the first 30 days, all changes and new features requested will be honored and applied to the system, even if it takes longer than the 30 days. But after 30 days, you can request one enhancement per month to the system, regardless of its complexity. Now, the reason why it's one per month is this helps to spread out the work, prevents development bottlenecks. Can you imagine what would happen here at Willow Mobile Systems if all of our clients decided they wanted 10 different enhancements in the same month? So this one enhancement per month is just taking aim at trying to spread those changes out in your system out over time. Now, what all this means is that you can always have an updated system. Your system will never be out of date. It will always be relevant and be on the leading edge to give your business that advantage over your competitors. So one more time, here's what your package includes. Process analysis, database design, database setup install, application design, application build test, bonus number 1, data hosting, bonus number 2, servicing and support, and bonus number 3, one enhancement to your system each and every month. That's a total value of your package of $59,976 for the first year and a value of $32,991 each subsequent year. But your plan pricing doesn't change. It stays exactly the same, even with the additional value. Now remember, at the beginning of today's masterclass, when I mentioned you can apply my 3 secrets with very little effort, no headaches or hassle, and in a very cost-effective manner, well, this is it. All we need is a little bit of your time to help with what you want in your application, in your system. We take care of everything else and offer what is likely to be the best software package deal you can find. You're getting a complete back office software system that can run on any device for less than the cost of the servicing and support on those other software solutions. And as I said before, that's a savings of over $30,000 with the additional value on just the application development itself, and over an additional $24,000 a year in savings for support, maintenance, and enhancement. This is an absolutely amazing deal. Now, if I didn't stress it well enough before, I want to talk more about the importance of a technically up-to-date back office system. And I have a couple quotes here. The first one is from Million Business Software in an article called "What is the Importance of Business Software to an Organization?" And in there they had this very simple quote that I thought I could capture. Choosing the right business software can help the company grow by leaps and bounds. And it is absolutely true. I buy into this 1000%. You need the right business software system. If you don't have that and you're doing things manually, you're wasting time. It's like throwing it out the window. Now, the second quote is actually one that we already saw, but I think it's important enough to bring up again, right? Every business, whether it is small or big, needs custom software to fulfill their specific business requirements. You need technically advanced solutions to obtain a competitive advantage. Every business has its own working conditions and functions. When it comes to small business, they need to be more adaptive and have to change business strategies as per market requirement. Now, to keep that advantage and to not be swallowed up by your competitors, you need a software system that can change virtually at a moment's notice when industry conditions do. But even more importantly, you'll want a system that is constantly evolving as technology does. And that's exactly what you'll get with our software package. But information alone won't help your business. Now, we've covered a lot of good information in today's masterclass. We're over 2 hours in. And all of this information has been aimed to help you recognize how you can grow your business profitability. But for this information to do your business any good, you're going to need to take action. And you can either spend your time applying the principles and techniques we've discovered, or save yourself that time and take advantage of the package, the awesome package we've already put together. We've made it virtually a no-brainer by covering everything for you while you focus on increasing your business revenues. I want to ask, how many of you have looked at other software systems before today? And what happened for the business the next day? For most of you, probably nothing, right? You went right back to the way you've always done things, because habits are hard to break. They're kind of a comfort zone. Well, something held you back. Maybe it was money, complexity, disruption to the business. Whatever the reason, you just hadn't found that perfect system, the right tool. You went right back to the inefficient processes that are zapping away time from your employees and costing the business money. It's like watching money vanish. But you obviously know your business needs a change, or you wouldn't be here today otherwise. So break the habit. Invest a little in a tool to help your business prosper and grow year after year. And Willow Mobile Systems will be there every step of the way to make sure your choice in us was the right decision. The bottom line is you can have money or excuses. You can come up with any number of reasons to avoid updating or adding your custom mobile software system. But are they really valid reasons, or are they just excuses to avoid making the decision? Having a proper software system is almost like generating money for your business, and now you have no more excuses. Everything is included. It's simple, it's easy, and it's affordable. And there is one more thing. What if you find out after using the system that it's just not right for you? Well, here's what we will do to help with that. We are not going to give you just a 30-day money-back guarantee. We are including a 60-day, 100% money-back guarantee, no questions asked policy. Even though we expect it to take only 30 days or less to get your system fully built, we want you to have a full 30 days of usage on the new completed software system to be fully comfortable that our mobile software is right for you. Does that sound fair? Now I want to ask, what kind of person are you? There are two kinds of people who attend these master classes. The first is the timid, shy kind of person who has trouble making a decision. Their fear is their decision might be wrong, and so they never take action. These people find it hard to be successful because they are constantly second-guessing themselves and end up missing out on very valuable lessons that could help them. The second kind of person is the go-getter who can evaluate a solution and jump on it when they know it's a good deal. Now, these people are the grab it by the horns kind of people and simply try things that make sense. Now, are they successful because they have that Midas touch and everything they touch turns to gold? No. They probably fail even more than the timid, shy person. So how are they successful? Because they try more things, and the ones that work out for them overshadow the ones that didn't. It's that simple. Now, I prefer to work with the second kind of person. They are the type who find success in their decisions because they take action to make it happen. Now, in this package, I've basically given you everything you need and made it completely risk-free for you for 60 days. So again, which kind of person are you? Oh, and by the way, remember that special bonus? We believe that using a database for your business data source is vital to getting off to a good start with your software system. Databases provide the best performance and have features that allow for offline automated processing. Better yet, you will be all set for future growth of your business and can avoid any future costly data migration fees once your business outgrows those other data source options. So, to encourage your business to get off to that good start with your software system, we are offering our premium plan at the same rate as the standard plan for 6 months. But hurry, as this only applies to the first 10 clients who sign up for the premium plan. So, for the first 10 clients who sign up for the premium plan, they will be charged the same rate as the standard plan for 6 months. So one last time, your package includes process analysis, database design, database setup install, application design, application build test, bonus number 1, data hosting, bonus number 2, service and support, bonus number 3, 1 enhancement per month, a total value of $59,976 for the first year and a value of $32,991 for each subsequent year with a 60-day 100% money-back guarantee. And for the first 10 clients who sign up right now, you will get the premium plan for the same price as the standard plan. And again, you're getting a complete back-office mobile software system that can run on any device for less than the cost of the servicing and support with those other software systems. A savings of $30,000 or over $30,000 for the building of the application itself. And now consider, when servicing, support, and enhancements are included, is it worth the value to you? Well, most definitely, without a question, it is. Now, if you're still wondering how Willow Mobile Systems can afford this pricing, it's simple. We are banking on building a long-term relationship with you. Other software vendors want your money up front, and when they consider your software system is done, they move on to the next project. They may offer servicing plans, but their true focus is on that next big project payment. When it comes down to them deciding on the next $40,000 project payment or your $1,000 a month servicing fee, which do you think they will be focusing on? Now, as I said before, your software never ends, nor should it. It's an ongoing cycle of maintenance, bug fixes, enhancements, and questions. We know that here, and that's exactly how we want to treat it. We prefer to think of our subscription plan as an ongoing partnership with your business where we earn your trust and loyalty. There are no large upfront costs that your servicing needs to contend with. Our focus is and will always be on providing you an outstanding software solution by providing you awesome customer service. You have two choices. Invest in your business with your very own mobile software system that will automate your manual processes, help increase your profits, and eliminate your headaches and hassles starting today. Or you can end this masterclass, have a good night's sleep, wake up tomorrow and continue doing things the way you always have that waste employee time and contribute to unnecessary costs. I'm willing to bet you don't want to do that or you wouldn't be here. So we've come to the end of our masterclass, so let's take a look at the plans and pricing one last time. We have the basic plan, the standard plan, and the premium plan. And for the next 6 months, if you sign up for the premium plan, you'll get that plan at the same rate as the standard plan. Everything is covered by a 60-day, 100% money-back guarantee. So click that button below and we'll contact you right away to get you started on your new mobile software system. If you still have questions, anything we didn't clarify well enough, please contact me personally at the number or email address you see on the screen. I'll be happy to answer your questions or get any additional details to you. Thank you for attending today's masterclass. I hope you found the information enlightening and useful. We look forward to working with you and building a strong partnership together.